I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! I'm up, I'm ready, let's go. Hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. And thank you guys once again for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life on this show. As always, we talk about fitness related content from a home gym perspective. We get your live reactions along the way. It feels I haven't talked to you guys in 7 days because I haven't. But here I am. I'm back. I'm ready to go. Fresh off of HomeGymCon, our second ever live in person show. And that one, I got to tell you, was a huge, huge success, which I'm so grateful for. Man, I'm telling you, just as a side note, well, I'll get into that later on. I'm John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life, and this is going to be a fun show. We got as usual, a packed episode for you. Let's go ahead and run down what's going to be happening here today. So, first hour, we're going to have news and other things. Got a brand new Recliner of Rage. You didn't get a Recliner of Rage last week for reasons we'll get into later on. So you're going to get you're going to get extra Rage today to compensate for the fact that I didn't crash out last week, okay? So I never leave you hanging. That's one. Second hour, I keep saying that. Second hour, Isaac from Iron Bull Strength. He is the product designer from Iron Bull Strength. He's responsible for the power racks, everything you see. Isaac had a hand in creating, and he's going to be joining us. He's going to talk to us after a very strong showing at HomeGymCon. He's going to talk to us about designs they have out now, some of the prototypes they had out, feedback that they were getting, and also he's going to hopefully give us a sneak peek at what may be coming down the pipe from Iron Bull Strength later on this year. And then in the third hour, we got Rob from Vintage Weights PGH YouTube channel. Going to be joining the show. He's going to give us a recap of HomeGymCon. Rob is, he's not just a content creator. He also runs the grip competition at HomeGymCon. So I'm going to get his reactions as an attendee, home gym owner attendee. Then also going to get his reactions as a competition organizer, and of course, then as a content creator. So lots going on. So I want to catch up with him and just see what he's got going on in general over on his YouTube channel. He just wrote a book. So, we got a lot going on. All right. So now you guys know what's going on. Go ahead. If you have not already, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. We are growing. We are so close on this channel to 60,000 subscribers, which just sounds crazy for me to say that out loud. But we are so close to 60,000 subscribers. So I know you guys are out there. I actually met a lot of you guys at HomeGymCon who told me that you are watching the show and that you love the show. So do me a favor, not only hit the like button, don't just hit subscribe if you haven't already, but share the link with people so that we continue to grow the channel and continue to do special things here on this show. Now, it's 4th of July in the United States. I don't know how early, whether we're going to get a lot of people up early here. But, hey, we are pushing forward. So there's 7 of you watching right now, okay? We got to do better than that. But there's 7 of you watching, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So I'm going to go say what's up to you right now. Let's go. All right. So first up in the building, my guy, Carlos. Carlos said, I'm up way too early on my vacation for this. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You dang right, man. Hey, I'm off too. But you know what I'm doing? I'm up. I'm letting freedom ring loudly. By the way, Carlos, send me a picture of yourself in that shirt I got you. But put your Viking helmet on. All right. I want to give it to, I want to show it to the people at the design shop that made the shirt. All right. I promised them I'd show them a picture of you wearing the shirt. So do me that favor. He said, also, I couldn't ask for more on Independence on ID4. Let's get it popping. Okay. Look at you. Bars. All right. Trevor, he said, wake up, wake up, wake up. What's up, my man? Let freedom ring. My guy, Jared. Jared Martin says, good morning. How's everybody coping with post HomeGymCon 2025? Looking forward to today's guest, man. You are not the only one, man. I cannot wait. Can't wait. Let's see here. Trevor said his back is finally feeling better. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I felt every bit of the 51 years I've accumulated, almost 52, at HomeGymCon. I'm telling you, it was brutal. 332, what's up? I got to hug 332 in person. What's up? Thank you for joining the show today. Thank you so much for joining the show. And let's see. Okay, I didn't say I need you to do a short. Okay, there we go. He said shirt. Okay, I was like, I ain't telling you got to do a YouTube short. All right, I was like, you're taking it too far, Carlos. All I need you to do is take a picture in the shirt and send it to me. Anyway, that's hilarious. Okay, so now that you guys, we've said what's up to everybody in the live chat. As always, we got a lot going on. So without further delay, let us dive headfirst into news and other things. Okay, so first things first, I want to know what you bought from HomeGymCon, what you acquired at HomeGymCon. I don't care how you got it. All right. I want to see pictures. So I need you guys to go to the community post section. I already told you how to do it. Go to my channel. But if in case you weren't here that day during that period of instruction, you go to the Garage Gym Life channel. You're already on the channel because you're watching this show, right? So go to the channel. And on the channel homepage, there's going to be a thing that says visit this community. Click on that and just start a post. And you can post pictures. You can't post videos, but you can post pictures. You can post links to videos. But I want to see pictures of what you got at HomeGymCon because I want to see it. All right, I'm gonna the stuff that I got at HomeGymCon. Really, like Naomi got a belt. Okay, and I got utility hooks. I'm happy to show those, but they're not exciting. The stuff that I'm excited about, I actually ordered after HomeGymCon, so that stuff has not yet arrived. But I will be posting that as soon as it gets in. Okay, so so I want you guys to go ahead and oh, Trevor said I started a HomeGymCon haul thread there. Well, there you go. Look at you. Look at this dude. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Trevor already at it. Up and at it. Let's go. So let's go. I just want to see it now. Because Trevor had Trevor had a cart full of stuff. That was amazing. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. So let's go newest. And hold up. Boom. All right, I'm going to share this right now. All right, so I see that right there. And in fact, I'll go ahead. This was not intended to be the first screen share of the day, but guess what? It's about to be now. Let's go. All right, so that is Trevor's HomeGymCon haul. Y'all see all that stuff this dude got? That's a lot. All right, so let's see. So there's a bench. He got some flooring. Got looks like maybe some sort of Infinity, the arm from PRX. You got something from Iron Bull Strength. No, is that Iron Bull Strength? I don't know. Got a bar. That looks like a bar from Fringe Sport. Definitely something from ATX. Trevor came up. I like that. I like it. That's what I'm talking about. There you go, Trevor. All right. Oh, you're right, Carlos. I'm remiss because I did not do this. So I had to announce it. That was the first screen share of the day. There you go. There you go. Get loud. Get loud. Get loud. There you go. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. See, that's why I didn't let y'all yell the first time, because y'all always get out of control, ladies. There. All right. Okay. So now, yeah, Trevor said that was a lot. He got a lot of ATX because of sweat equity, man. And he's not lying. Trevor helped him set up. Actually, Trevor helped a lot of people set up, including me and Naomi. He helped us carry our stuff upstairs, up to set up. and that was after helping ATX set up. Jameson also put in a ton of work, but man, you guys are the unsung heroes helping all the different booths get set up. So I really do appreciate you, man. I think that's the coolest thing, and I love that those of you who were helping out with the different booths were able to take stuff home with you. All right, hey Jay, bruh, what's up? I think this is your first time on the show. What? Welcome, man. Hey, appreciate you jumping up, waking up way too early, especially on a vacation day. All right, I appreciate that. Okay, get up, rockets, red glare, get loud, get loud. All right, so Jared also worked. I saw people, especially the on the end, not on the end, at the end of the event. But you just see like carts going everywhere, right? So it's hard to tell who's taking home stuff that they bought, who was helping people load, just whatever. There's just a lot of carts going left and right, all right. But it looked like an anthill. That you kick open an anthill, it looked like that. So I couldn't really tell. But man, shout out to you, Jared. Shout out to you for that. And Trevor said I bought the PRX belt squat prototype. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. That's what that was. Man, I love it, man. HomeGymCon is such a special event all year long. It's like all year long we wait for it, and when it finally gets here, it's like Naomi and I called it. We said it multiple times. Like, man, it's like a family reunion. I had one person tell me that it was like it was their first year there, and they said it was like being the new kid at a high school where like everybody knows each other, you don't know them, and you're like trying to figure out how you fit in or whatever. But from what I could tell, I mean, literally, it was like a constant, hey, how you doing? Like constant waving, and then even more, we're this is just supposed to be my HomeGymCon reaction, okay? You got me off on a tangent, but it's okay. We were walking from the hotel. I really don't know where we were going, but we're walking from the hotel, and I said to Naomi, I said, it's like when we were in college, and like it's spring break, and everybody in the college goes to the same town for spring break. So everywhere you go, you see people even though none of y'all are actually from that town. It felt like that. We're like seeing people across the street. Hey, what's up? It was just awesome, man. It was awesome. Consecrate. Hey, shout out to Consecrated Tech. So this morning, behind the scenes info, my camera was not working. My mic was not working. I couldn't figure out why none of this stuff was working. I tried all the stuff I knew. And so I had to call my lifeline. That's Consecrated Tech. I said, hey, where you at? Because I hope you awake, because I'm in the valley of ignorance right now. I don't know how to get this working. And my man Casey got everything working. He's always working behind the scenes doing our tech stuff. Especially he's doing stuff for this show. He helps me out with the timestamps and everything else. So huge shout out to him for this, as well as all the other stuff that he does for us, man. Thank you so much, man. And Trevor said the best part of HomeGymCon was not the show. It was meet all my favorite content creators, and all of them were awesome humans, not a single jerk in the group. Man, I'm telling you, we had a I wouldn't say it's a drama-free weekend, because there was drama, but not between the content creators as a general rule. Okay. Those of you who were there know what happened, know about some of the drama that started because of one specific brand that I just don't understand anyway. But yeah, but all in all, I would say, but it didn't take away from the weekend. All right. One monkey don't stop the show. It was awesome. So yeah, I agree with that 100%. So anyway, like I said, I want you guys to go in the community post section on this channel, and I want you to it doesn't take long. Just go ahead and post a picture. Ashley, I know you got a bunch of stuff. You had a pickup truck full of stuff. So post pictures in the community post section so that we can see what you guys got from HomeGymCon. All right. That's the first thing. Second thing is the July 4th sales have started. So I kind of curious to get some feedback from you guys. so many of you wait until like you save your money for HomeGymCon. So then HomeGymCon comes, and of course you buy stuff, you get stuff, right? So you literally just got a bunch of home gym equipment. So how much impact do these 4th of July sales have on you, right? I do want to know that, but I also recognize that not everyone who's watching the show went to HomeGymCon. So I see your post, Jared. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, just post it on there. Like the community post section is designed to be interactive. It's not just me posting. I post stuff all the time, but it's not just me posting. I want you guys to post, and I want you guys to react to each other's posts on there. I want it to be a discussion forum. You know, obviously you only post public stuff on there. It doesn't even give you an option for posting private things. So make sure anything you put on there is something you want, you're comfortable with the world seeing. But because that's just going to continue to grow. But yes, please post your stuff there. Anyway, so as I recognize, as I was saying, that not everybody went to HomeGymCon though. So I'm going to go ahead and I run down some of the sales that I'm aware of. If anybody else knows about a sale that I don't mention and you wanted me to mention it, go ahead and throw it in the comment section. And if we have time, we'll talk about it a little bit. So the first thing is Freedom Fitness Equipment. That was I saw my guy Ashton Thursday night. Naomi, I did a booth tour with him actually Thursday night. So we got everything all set up, got all set to go for the show for Friday. And then we went downstairs, met up with, we got everything set up. Mostly cameras weren't working, but we got everything other than the cameras working. Then we went to the hotel, checked in. Then we came back and did a booth tour with Ashton Thursday night. Then we went upstairs to the room where the show was going to be held, and we edited that video and uploaded it so that it would be ready to go. And so the Freedom Fitness Equipment booth tour was the first real HomeGymCon video that we posted, and they are having a 4th of July sale. It is actually it goes through to July 6th, and they've got cardio, strength equipment, flooring. All of that is on sale. It's pretty big. Let me see something here. They sent me something. All right, so yeah, it's a 4th of July blowout. It's basically like a clearance sale. So it's like 50% and more off everything. It's the biggest sale of the year. It's basically like Black Friday, but in July. Okay, so you guys can head on over to Freedom Fitness Equipment, and in fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna go to freedomfitnessequipment.com, and let's go ahead, second screen share the day right now. Let's go ahead and share the screen. All right, go to freedomfitnessequipment.com, and you want to click for the July 4th sale. Bam. So it's the July 4th, 4th of July Independence Day liquidation clearance sale. They're getting rid of stuff, making room for more. So we've got hammerclad flooring. If you guys saw the video tour that we did of this booth, you know that they've got several different kinds of flooring. They've got turf. So you guys can see all this. It comes with stuff to glue it down. There's the different types of turf. So we got all that there. They've got some stuff from Muscle D Fitness. They got a dynamic roll plate. So basically, most of the stuff that you saw in the booth tour is going to be a part of the sale and more. All right. But basically, but yeah, so if you want to take advantage of that, go to freedomfitnessequipment.com and you're going to shop the July 4th sale. Make sure that you jump in there. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, Ashton he's highly underrated. And that's crazy to say for somebody whose YouTube channel has like over 200,000 subscribers. But that's not like the main focus of his business. His business is actually selling stuff, helping people set up their home gyms. And, you know, Carlos can vouch for the quality of his stuff because Ashton actually is where we got where Carlos got his bench that he's using now. It was an upgrade. So I'm telling you, and then I purchased stuff from Ashton before as well for my home gym. 100%. He's a good dude, solid dude, takes care of you. You call him and he's not just going to sell you stuff. He's going to like listen to your situation, give you suggestions, and, you know, try to get you the best deal possible. Although as Jared says, if you're in person, and he tried it with me, and I said, nah, he will try to get you to try his ammonia salt. I believe it's the Jujimufu smelling salt. But I know better. I've already, I competed in powerlifting. I've had the smelling salts, right? I ain't about that life. Not doing it. So yeah, I'm sure it was horrible, and God bless you for trying it. Not to kid, not to kid. Jared said I did buy a barbell holder after HomeGymCon that happened to be on sale, but it didn't need anything else. Okay, yeah, I was curious about that. Like I said, so I placed an order for stuff after HomeGymCon because it was all so. One of the things that I ordered after HomeGymCon was something that I had planned on picking up at HomeGymCon, but the brand wasn't there. They had a conflict, a schedule conflict, so they weren't there. So I just ordered it off of their website, and it was the Exponent Edge bench. Okay, and so I talked to Jay. He wanted to go to HomeGymCon, but he had basically a family scheduling conflict, and so he couldn't be there. So I just went ahead and I just ordered it off his website, and so that should be arriving. I think the tracking said next week. So I'm super excited to get that infinity bench here in the gym. You guys will see when it gets here, you guys will see the video. I'll post a picture and everything else. And then I ordered a lever belt from Iron Bull Strength. And that was basically just kind of like I had a conversation with Stefan from Iron Bull Strength, and they actually gave Naomi a belt because, and actually, I'm gonna stop and brag about my wife for a second. So Naomi's been losing weight, and she had a belt from Fringe Sport. It was a soft belt, and I got her, and that belt is now way too big for her, right? So we planned on doing some belt shopping, and we're at HomeGymCon, and we were actually just talking to Iron Bull Strength, and she saw their belts. They had a pink belt there, right? And she was like, I basically asked, like, these are the different kinds of belts they have. And she picks it up. I didn't intend for her to try it on. I was just showing her that this is what they had. So she picks up the pink belt, but she didn't believe she'd be able to get it on. And she put it on, and the belt fit, and she was like in shock. So just to put in perspective, so like lifting belts are basically you got like an extra large, medium, small, right? So I think the belt she had from Fringe Sport before was either a ladies large or extra large. She's wearing a medium now, and I'm so proud of her. She's consistent, getting the work in. In fact, I need to step it up. Okay, I can't be standing next to her. I mean, I'm always handsome, but I can't be standing next to her not in shape when she's looking like that. So I got to step it up. All right. But yeah, I'm super proud of her. So anyway, so she got a belt, and then I ordered and then in the conversation with Stefan, we're talking about belts, and I just said, man, the heck with this, and I ordered a belt when I got home as well, and then I ordered the infinity bench. Let's see here. Trevor said Ashton is awesome. Says custom rack looks even better in person than the pictures. Yeah, they look really, really good. I mean, now he says, full disclosure, that the coating is like an automotive coating. So if you were to put the rack outside, it's gonna hold up really well, but it's not gonna hold up to like scratching because you can scratch a car. It's the same kind of coating that will be on a car, but it looks awesome. It looks amazing. Say you didn't try the multi-purpose machine. Oh yeah. The multi-purpose machine at Ashton's booth. I'm telling you, man, it's like the thing about Ashton's stuff. I can't believe we're still on the first topic. It's crazy. But the thing about Ashton's stuff is, like I said, people don't think about him because he's a distributor for multiple brands. So people don't think about it because we're so used to going directly online to whatever brand we're trying to buy something from. But seriously, if you're trying to set up a home gym, go to freedomfitnessequipment.com. Yes, we have a promo code that's it's in the description of this video. So if you want to support the show as well as try to find stuff for your home gym, go ahead and head there. Just go ahead, click that link that's in the in this video, and it'll take you there. And then of course jump on the 4th of July sale. But I'm telling you, 24/7, 365. I recommend Freedom Fitness Equipment because it's just an awesome place to buy stuff, and I love supporting small businesses um, that are run by cool people. Um, yes, that's a good point. I forgot all about that. And Ashton made custom tiles for all the content creators with our. So he made one for us with our logo. Made one for Jungle Gym Reviews. I think he made one for Carp with the logo just as gifts. I mean, he's such an awesome dude. He's an awesome dude. Um, so yeah, Ashley got one. There we go. So yeah, she just said the same thing. Got a personalized rubber mat. So there you go. It's perfect. Hey, there's 500 of you guys watching right now. Make sure that you are clicking that like button and clicking subscribe. All right, that is how the channel grows. We are headed towards 60. That's right, 60,000 subscribers, and that is phenomenal. Especially when I think back to where this channel started. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I told this to Isaac from Iron Bull Strength. When my channel first started, so for those who don't know, you got to have at least 100 subscribers on YouTube if you want to get a custom URL, right? Otherwise, your channel URL is going to have like letters and numbers, just random letters and numbers. So what I did was reach out to, so like my mom subscribed, my wife, Naomi subscribed from her personal YouTube. But it was like, I needed 100 people, right? So I reached out to the Marines from my old unit, right? The guys I went to Iraq with. And I was just like, hey, I don't care if you got a Google or account or not. You need a Google account because I need you to create one. If you ain't got one, create one. You got a Gmail. If you don't have one, create one. And I need you to go on YouTube. I need you to subscribe to this channel. I don't care if you never comment on any videos. I just need you to subscribe. So our first 100 subscribers were my mom, my wife. I want to say like maybe some other family members too. I'm not sure, but like there weren't really a lot of people from my family originally when we first started who subscribed. So I think there are like 98 other Marines I reached out to signed up. So I actually exceeded the 100 subscriber mark and got my custom URL. And that's how we got the custom URL for this channel. So to go from that experience to almost having 60,000 subscribers today is phenomenal to me. It's such a blessing. That's crazy. And we're not even slowing down. All right, we're not even slowing down. You know how I know? Because Joe Bauer is checking in. Whatever. Now, hey, you know that's Jonathan's thing. You can't be taking no fake 24/7's catchphrase. All right, we'll let you borrow it because he's not here yet. All right. Yeah. Hey, Casey remembers. So here's another story. So Casey said, I remember that somebody would like call me on the phone trying to sell me something. And I told them I would listen to their pitch if they subscribed to my YouTube channel. And we went on YouTube and confirmed. And I said, okay, I see you subscribe. All right, go ahead. I'm going to listen to you. I still ain't buy it, but I listened, okay? The commitment was to listen. I said, I'm not going to listen unless you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That was a good day. Hey, I didn't even care. I didn't care. All right. Guerrilla marketing at its finest, man. Yeah, that was a good time. Forgot all about that. Oh, that's relentless. You understand? Relentless. All right, we got to figure. All right, so let's see. Hey, Carlos, I'm telling you, okay? You got to impose your will, okay? All right, look, we got to go on to the next topic. We're running out of time. All right, so next item, Fringe Sport. They are having a 4th of July sale. Let's go ahead and let me see here. See if I can't do the thing right here. They're having a 4th of July sale. It is a tiered sale. So go and pull this up real quick, and I'll share my screen with this. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. All right. So it's if you spend $250, you get 7% off. Then it's 12% off of $500. and it's 15% off 1,000 or more. There are some promo codes. So Freedom 250, Freedom 500, and Freedom 1000. And everything is on sale, including, as you guys can see right here, the Dane 2.0. So it covers everything. This is a huge sale. So if it's in stock, I'd say basically if it's in stock, it's on sale. So you guys, if you're interested, take advantage of that. Jump on and head over to French Sport and order some stuff. Hey, look at that. See, more of that guerrilla marketing. That's what I'm talking about. Trevor said he got Peter Keller to subscribe to his podcast at HomeGymCon right in front. There you go. Exactly. That's what you do. That's what you do. All right. Hey, Mike, what's up, man? I just watched your YouTube tour. Mike has an updated video tour of his home gym. If you guys have not seen it, do me a favor, Mike. Post that in the community. Post a link to it in the community section on my channel. That way everybody can go check it out after this is over. But yeah, it's got. I like how he explained like the thought process behind the stuff that he had. And so you guys want to go ahead and check that out, man. Definitely. Let's see. So that's the second one. All right, we got a little bit of time, so we got about 15 minutes. So let's jump into this. Like, this is something I wanted to talk about, and that is my reaction to HomeGymCon. I want to do this now, and then I'm gonna go revisit it when my guests come on. Okay. Let's take a drink of some good old branched chain amino acids. All right. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. So, first of all, obviously, first of all, HomeGymCon was much bigger than the previous 2 years. You guys should have seen the graphic on the HomeGymCon website. And if you follow HomeGymCon on Instagram, which you should, you see like they did like a comparison from year one to this year, right? I remember year one, I think Jake said there were like 200 people total. That's brands and attendees, okay? And we went from that to, I don't even know what the final count was of brands. And I'm just going to tell you that day one, so Friday was mostly content creators, right? And it was interesting because the venue was so much bigger. I would say that Friday we had as many people as we did at French Lick in year two, okay? But because the venue was so much bigger, it didn't look like it was as many people, okay? But Naomi, for those of you who were there for year two of HomeGymCon, you may remember that Naomi wasn't there because our daughter had a cheer competition that year, exact same weekend. So Naomi was at the cheer competition with her. So Naomi had been to year one and she didn't get to see year two. So then she goes to year three and she's like, whoa, this is huge, right? So the thing about it for me though was I was like talking to people. We actually went to dinner with some people Friday night, and I was like, really I anticipate that we're going to have a lot more people tomorrow, so Saturday, because I was like, what some brands are forgetting is, especially the ones who went to year one, who are used to French Lick, like they're used to it looking really crowded, but content creators, whatever. I said, yeah, but remember that a lot of people are at work because it's Friday, right? So Saturday, when people don't have to work, you're going to get a ton of people here. And I was correct. I'm talking about packed. But the place was so big that it didn't feel like oppressively crowded like it does at the Arnold. I'm just saying but it was crowded. And I'll tell you, but I also felt like I was at a family reunion. Naomi also said the same thing. She's like, it's like being at a family reunion because you know people, right? Um, and I was in so many of you guys, and I gotta apologize to anybody who wanted to talk to me, who I didn't get a chance to talk to, and I never like that's a weird sentence for me to say, okay? Because I don't see myself that way, right? But Naomi was telling me that who um there were people who wanted to talk to me, like they were actually apparently there are people who were so like I'm talking to somebody here and I try to give people my full attention when I'm talking to them, but apparently there were people who were like standing waiting to talk to me, and I guess they I think Nate and his wife were waiting to talk to me, and I didn't get to talk to you guys. I really apologize. So Nate, if you're watching, please have my sincere apologies. I didn't realize you guys were waiting to talk to me, and so then they had to go put their stuff in the car. But I really do appreciate you guys being at the live show in person, and we gotta like run it back. So at HomeGymCon 2026, Nate, let's have dinner together. Okay, I'm inviting you and your wife now. We're gonna go eat. Naomi and I are gonna eat somewhere, right? I'm inviting you and your wife to eat with us, just because we didn't get to talk to you guys there. Okay, so don't forget we're having dinner. All right, at HomeGymCon 2026. All right, so I would say like in conversation with I'd be talking to somebody, and like especially in the convention hall, right? And people are like uh waving at me from across the room. So if I'm talking and I see somebody back there, and you wave, I'm gonna wave. But there were like people coming in. I mean, there was like a guy. I remember this guy. Multiple people did this, but I remember I was at the RitFit booth, and there was a guy standing there, and I thought we were interrupting him, that he was waiting to talk to RitFit. So he like walked away, and I was like, man, I thought I had like messed stuff up for him, like like we interfered because we were there to do a booth tour. We had arranged schedule with him, right? And I was, oh man, my man didn't get to do his booth, ask his question at RedFit. So I said, man, I felt bad. Well, then we see him later on. I was at the Anchor booth getting ready to do a booth tour with them, and I stopped. I was like, hey, I said, hey, and I'm sorry, I got in the way. You were trying to talk to RedFit. You didn't get to talk to him. And he said, actually, I was waiting to talk to you. I said, really? And he said, yeah, can I? He said he's watches the show. He's a fan of the channel and wanted to take a picture with me. And that just started happening. And I'm telling you, I was so overwhelmed. When I was telling Ashley about it, I dang near started crying. All right. Just because it means more than you guys know for people to come up and say that they value something that is really a labor of love for me, right? That you guys see the value in it. So shout out to the lurkers. So many of you who walked up to me were lurkers. They're like, yeah, I said, I never see you comment on the videos. Yeah, but I just watch it and I love it. I'm like, all right, so hey, shout out to the lurkers. Appreciate you guys. You are 100% appreciated. I want you to comment, especially when I see our guests backstage. So especially when our guest comes on, our first guest, Zach comes on, you definitely need to be throwing comments on there. In fact, start getting your Iron Bull Strength related questions together. You can start going and put them in there. I'll star them all so we don't miss them. So yeah, okay. So Ashley said that they had about 1,300 people buy tickets. Think about that. 1,300 tickets sold. Now think about year one at French Lick. Those of you who went. And it still wasn't like packed. Like I said, it wasn't oppressively packed. Those of you who've been to the Arnold, you got to like lubricate your shoulders to navigate through the Arnold. All right. You got to grease your shoulders if you want to get through the crowds of the Arnold. It's ridiculous. But HomeGymCon was packed, but it didn't feel packed. That was the perfect venue for that. Jared said Saturday was definitely busier, just like in French Lick. Heck yeah. Like I said, we forget a lot of times because we do this, that people got to work. People that work on Friday. So they'll come up, on a Saturday or whatever, right? I thought it was funny because I met some people who were from French Lick, but they never gone when we were at French Lick. They waited till it's in Louisville, and they said, "Yeah, I know that makes no sense." When it was in French Lick right there in our backyard, we never went, but now we're here because it's in Louisville. I say, hey, no problem. Hey, I get it, man. There's all kind of stuff that happens in Atlanta I don't go to. I get it. I get it. Try to get through these comments here. Oh, that's interesting. Trevor said, I told Jake that next year there needs to be a booth where content creators rotate every 2 hours for just meet and greets, almost like making the content creators like a sideshow. I can see that. I'll be honest with you, man. I kind of feel like I'm just a guy. You know what I mean? So you got to understand. I mean, I'll do it if y'all want it. You know, I'll do it. But for me, I treat HomeGymCon like it's work, right? Yes, I have fun meeting you guys, but I'm also there to help brands tell their story, to make connections with brands, you know, that kind of thing. So when you guys see me, I'm going. Most of the time, y'all see me like going because I'm going from appointment to appointment. So that makes me even more grateful for the people who stopped me and said, "Hey, can I, you know, take a picture with you?" Because I was also doing what I could to introduce people I know to people who they don't know, if that makes sense, right? Because I'm a connector, I'm a storyteller and a connector, and so HomeGymCon is perfect for me. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw that right there. We'll save that one for when Isaac comes on. And we're gonna save that one too. All right, so we got 2 for Isaac already. Here we go, y'all. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But look, this is a little bit early. You guys keep on bringing up your reactions to HomeGymCon, your questions for Isaac, because your HomeGymCon reactions are going to be apropos for the interview with Isaac, as well as my conversation with Rob from Vintage Weights PGH. So you guys keep on throwing them in there. As I see them, I'm going to star them, okay? And that way they don't get lost. But because of the situation, like I promised you, double rage. So we're going to go, normally it's at 6:45. We're going early, all right? Because it is now time for your favorite segment. You ain't get it last week, but you're getting it today. That's right, Recliner Rage. Let's go.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, because he's not happy.
It is time. That's right. I got all kinds of pent up frustration, anger, rage, and hatred. Okay. Hatred and discontent. It is time to lash out and crash out. Let's go. Number 1, today's Recliner Rage is primarily dedicated. The presenting sponsor, the title sponsor for this Recliner Rage is the floors at the Kentucky International Convention Center. So Thursday night broke us down. All right. I'm talking about my knees, my back, my calves, all of that junk was hurting, okay? All of that was hurting. In fact, I'm going to tell you that we got back to the hotel Thursday night after getting everything done. Naomi and I were so tired. We went to the hotel, we laid down and rolled over, faced each other, and we exchanged the slowest high five in history because we were so, I was like, we made it, all right? Don't hit my head too hard, all right? So it's all fun and games. But then Friday morning, we get up, crack of dawn, yes. Because think about it, my show, I start show prep for this show at 4 a.m. Normally, I roll out of bed, walk in here, all right? It's about 10 feet from my room to this room, okay, to my office. Not that time. So at HomeGymCon, we had to walk from the hotel to the convention center. So that means we woke up at 3 a.m., walked over to the convention center, all right? Keyword walk, all right? Walk on the sidewalk, which is made out of asphalt and concrete, okay? Get out there, get to the convention center, walk across those floors, also concrete, go, and then y'all remember this long trek to get up to the convention center, right? I'm sorry, to get up to this, because everything's on the second floor. Well, our show was on the 3rd floor, and the elevator doesn't go to the 3rd floor. More on that in a second. Okay, so because you got to have the key card to get to the 3rd floor. More on that in a second. All right. So we're in pain. We're in pain because of the convention center floors, right? Now, there was a lady Friday night after dinner. We're going up in the elevator, and she's like she was there for the Barbie convention. She's riding a jazzy scooter. And in my head, I was like, if I had seen you on the street, I would have offered you any amount of money. I would have signed over the title to my car just so you give me a piggyback ride. I was so beat down from the convention center floors. Unreasonably uncomfortable, all right? And I know all of y'all, everybody who was there knows what I'm talking about. Yes, I got, man, they made my dang knees act up. I'm talking, okay? Now, that's one. That's one, okay? However, I also have bonus rage, by the way, for the TSA here in Atlanta. What does that have to do with anything? Because the TSA in Atlanta, when we went to HFA in Vegas, the TSA in Atlanta saw my back scratcher sticking on my bag and they flagged it. So I had to stand there while they examined my back scratcher. Okay. What does that have to do with HomeGymCon? When I was at HomeGymCon, walking on the floors with David Dennis, and he reminded me of that incident with the back scratcher, and my feet hurt when the TSA were doing that. My feet hurt at HomeGymCon. So that's why it relates. Okay, now back to HomeGymCon in general, right? So here's the situation. David and I, when this came up, we were walking to the back bay doors, right? Trevor gave me a good suggestion. He said, hey, a lot of people are using this little freight entrance. So if you can go to the back there and get them to let you use the freight entrance, you only have a little bit of stuff. It's only like enough for one SUV. You don't have like the big truck. And they refuse to open the bay doors to let people in until 6. So there's like traffic backed up. And I'm talking about like tractor trailers, some of the ATX, Rogue, some of these places came with tractor trailers of stuff, right? So if you got to sit in your SUV and you're waiting behind a big truck to load, it's going to take you forever. And you don't really have that much stuff. So I was like, look, what you need is an aisle, 10 items or less. Okay. Well, that's the freight elevator. So Trevor says, go back there and see if they'll let you use it. So I go on back there. All right. I had acquired a cart and I'm walking with this cart that I acquired. And I go, so I acquired the cart. Go upstairs to the second floor. Then we figured out that what we had to do is send somebody up to the third floor because the door was open, but the elevator was key card only. Send somebody up to the third floor, call the elevator. We go in the elevator, take the cart up there, load the cart, come down to the second floor. When then we go out that door into the convention center, all the way to the back by the loading dock, where I was told by Mike from the convention center that was not possible and he wouldn't let me do it. So, okay. So I unload the cart because I still got 2 more loads upstairs. Unload the cart, put the cart down by the loading dock. I asked David Dennis and Mike Reed to guard my stuff. Just guard my stuff. That's all I ask you in Jesus' name. All right. So then I go back out the convention center, go in the elevator. I carry the cart upstairs because it's just me now. I don't have anybody to go upstairs to call the elevator. And I don't want anybody to steal my cart. So I carry the cart up the steps, go up the steps into the room, load the cart again, get back on the elevator, go downstairs to the second floor, leave that, and I go all the way to the other set of elevators. Go in those elevators. The only elevator that showed up was the elevator that's the furthest away from me. Go in that elevator, go down to the first floor, go out to the street, go out the side door, go down the sidewalk to where Naomi is parked, load up the SUV, go back inside. No, I can't use the same entrance I just came out of because those doors are exit only. So I go all the way to the front door, go through the front door, go back to the elevator. The elevator that showed up was the one furthest away from me. Go upstairs to the second floor, then go over to the other elevator and carry the cart upstairs because I don't want anybody to steal my cart and I don't have anybody with me to call the elevator. Run upstairs, carrying the cart, load the cart one more time, go back in the elevator, go down, repeat all the way down, go to the second floor elevators, go downstairs. Oh, forgot something. Second floor elevators. The elevator that showed up was the one furthest away from me again. Go downstairs, go to the exit, go out to where Naomi is waiting by the car. All right. Now there's a crowd of people there. All right. Joe Gray's standing there talking. We got people just standing by the car. All right. Excellent. All right. Unload that. Then go back inside, back to the front entrance because the side doors are exit only. Go back to the front entrance. Go back inside. Go up the elevator. The elevator that showed up was the one furthest away from me. Again, go in that elevator, go up, go through the convention center, back to my stuff that's by the loading dock where Mike from the convention center is sitting there smiling. All right, get my stuff, go back through the convention center, back outside to the elevators. The first elevator to show up is the one furthest away from me. One more time, go downstairs to the first floor, go outside, load up the SUV one more time. Oh, wait, we're not done. The cart's got to go back. Thank God, Naomi said, took pity on my ankles, Achilles tendon, and feet, and said, I'll take it back. So she did. Then we get in the car together, and we go around the block because I had to give Ashley her patch, where we find a line of cars, pickups, and SUVs all sitting where I want it to be, and they're all using the freight door. But Mike wouldn't let me do it. Mike from the convention center wouldn't let me do it. Okay. I want y'all to know that a couple weeks ago, a brand reached out to me, and they offered to give me free liniment, cases of free liniment, but they weren't offering money. And I was like, look, I'm sorry, but I need money I get paid money for my time, right? You don't just send me products. But during this ordeal, I want you to know that every step, okay, every little step, like New Edition, every little step I took, I was thinking about that liniment contract. I said, you know what? This is starting to sound pretty good. What do they deliver? Do they deliver? And you know who I'm going to blame? Mike from the convention center. He knew quite well that junk hurts because he had on comfy shoes. But he's looking at the rest of us. He sees our knees aching. He sees us in pain. He don't care. I hear you, Mike from the convention center. That's all right. It's funny now. It's okay. I hear you, Jake Jaworski. It was $25,000 for carpet. I hear that. But I'm about to spend $100,000 on liniment. So let's think about that, Jake. Let's think about that. Trevor said, don't forget about the doors not opening until 6 to even get into the. Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Thank you for reminding me, Trevor, because I'm upstairs nervous because I'm like, nobody showed up for my show yet. Where is everybody? And then Naomi was like, well, can they even get in? Because the doors, oh, that's right, the doors are locked. So I got to go downstairs. Same process, the exact same procedure I just described to you, right? Same procedure. I had to go outside, downstairs, other side of the elevator, downstairs, just to let people in so that they could get in for the show. I forgot all about that. Extra rage. All right, secondary rage. So once again, the title sponsor of this segment are the Convention Center floors, and supporting sponsor, the Convention Center side doors. The Convention Center side doors. I would not be appeased. All right. Now I know you got your jokes. I'm gonna listen to your jokes. All right, let's go. Carlos said, sounds like you went through it, buddy. You want to talk about it? Yes, I need to get it off my chest. What do you mean? How does that make me feel, Casey? It makes me feel like, number one, I really wanted a scooter. Look, I'm telling you, let's say Saturday about 10 a.m. No, Saturday about noon is the closest I've ever come in as an adult male to asking another adult male for a piggyback ride. My feet hurt so bad. I was like looking at it, well, he looks strong. He looks pretty strong. He probably carried me. I was like, I went through it. Why is it so hot in here? I went through it. Yes, I'm mad, Trevor. Look, that's the closest. I was like, those Skechers slip-ins. I was like, oh, I need to get. I had like all these products going because I'm pushing the cart. All right, I'm pushing the cart. I'm like, man, and then the cart, like, oh, anyway. You know what? We're not gonna get anywhere at this rate. We're not gonna get anywhere. All right, just, oh my God, this is. I like how all of y'all got like shoe recommendations, but I didn't have those shoes Saturday and Friday when I needed them, did I, Mike? I'm sure Hakas are great, but I didn't have them then, did I? Where were you with the dang shoes then, Mike? Where were you? Okay, you know what? I ain't letting y'all make me crash out all the way. I have got way too much stress built up for this. My blood pressure ain't about to go. HomeGymCon was a great event. I don't want anybody to think it wasn't a great event. But I am looking at alternatives. I'm definitely going to look into that Liniment sponsorship and potentially a motorized scooter or something. All right, but for right now.
Okay. Calm down. Take a breath. You don't need no high blood pressure, plus you got a whole show to do. So just calm all the way down. That's better.
Okay. All right. There we go. I feel better. As I said, my next guest is Isaac from Iron Bull Strength. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring him in a few minutes. But first, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to add LinkedIn to the stream. Okay, so let's go ahead. Shout out to everybody who is joining us, who just joined us from LinkedIn. You guys are coming on at exactly the right time. But first of all, thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. And shout out to those of you in the Central Time Zone who are just getting up. I know that a lot of you guys already have been watching the show in the Central Time Zone. My guy Carlos, I don't know where Carp is. But I know he's out there somewhere. And you know what? Where's Eric Eccles? All right. Y'all think about this. All right. Eric gets mad when I don't mention that he's here. But look at him. I'm looking for him right now. I'm looking in the comment section. I don't see you, Eric Eccles. Okay. But shout out to everybody from the Central Time Zone who is tuning in to Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. This is a special show. If this is your first time ever tuning into this show, I want you to know that what we do here is talk about the topics that matter to the home workout community. Okay, so because if I say the home gym community, you think we only talk about equipment, but we talk about topics that relate to working out at home in what I consider to be the best gym in town, and that is your home gym that you have custom tailored to fit your needs and your fitness goals. So we talk to industry experts, we talk to the brands who make our equipment, and it's a good time, and we get your live reactions along the way. So go ahead and if this is your first time watching, please share the link to this show so that we can continue to grow the show and make this an excellent platform for brands to connect with their customers in a real and authentic way. My next guest is Isaac. Dang it, I did it again. My next guest is, I see you smiling like everybody does it. You know what? I'm going to just change the spelling of your name right now. All right. I know how you spell it, but I'm going to spell it the way I want to spell it because you're not going to see it anyway. There we go. Boom. All right. My next guest is Isaac Ibocha, who is the lead product designer for Iron Bull Strength. Recently had the pleasure of getting the grand tour of their booth during HomeGymCon 2025. And that was this past weekend. And it was awesome to meet these guys in person, not just Isaac, but also Stefan. I had already had the pleasure of meeting Frank, the founder of Iron Bull Strength, at HFA, and so it was cool to reconnect with him again. But it was great getting the grand tour, and I think that you guys are really going to enjoy this conversation with Isaac. I hope you guys have your questions for him. And I'm gonna, because I really am interested to see how he felt about HomeGymCon, because this was his first time attending HomeGymCon. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and bring my man Isaac in here. Make sure that you guys show your love for him. All right, here we go. Isaac, welcome. What's up? What's up?
Good morning. Good morning.
Happy belated Canada Day.
Thank you. Happy Canada Day to you too.
I'm not
That's the,
yelling
only,
about
that's the only holiday going on today. I don't know what you're talking about.
well, you know, a little further south, we got this thing where we cast the yoke of British tyranny off. We tried to show y'all how to do it, but y'all didn't quite manage. But you know, it's fine.
No, we
You know
still need that yoke, you know.
You know what? I think it's because y'all are too nice. All right.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, we didn't like the fact they were restricting so many things, and we kicked them out of our country, right? And then you guys are like, well, we don't like what they're doing either, but we don't want to hurt their feelings. So okay, you know,
Exactly.
America just kicked them out. You know, how they gonna feel if we kick them out too? And so as a result, y'all still got to listen to them. Hey, you know what? Hey, grin and bear it, dude. Grin and bear it. But yeah, I'm really glad that you're on here.
And then on the way out, we say sorry for the disturbances. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's the thing. We always say sorry.
You always say sorry.
We always say sorry.
That has got to be exhausting. How do you apologize all day?
It becomes exhausting. Well, that's more of the English part of Canada. Here in the French part of Canada, we're not that.
That's where the thugs live.
We're not as polite as the English Canadians, you know. But
Quebec is just like Compton. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah,
we're thugging in Quebec. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then there's like the inner city of Compton. You know, if you want to go deeper, then it's Laval where Atlantis is. Those guys over there, you don't want to go there. That's the hood of the hood in the hood.
So I realize that this is not as funny as it is in my head, but I don't care because I'm just picturing like some French thugs running up on you. Everybody yelling in French, whatever the French equip. Hey, how do you say because you speak like 5 languages, right?
3. Well, 3 I understand 6.
Okay. So let's meet in the middle at 5. All right.
Fair.
This is not going to go well if you keep on. All right. Anyway, so how do you say break yourself fool in French?
I don't even know what it means in English. Break yourself fool.
Break yourself means empty your pockets. Empty your pockets, give me all your money. Okay. Hold on. I want to let's go. We're about to make history. Here we go.
Hold on.
What would you say if you were gonna mug somebody? I want to hear it in French. Come on now. You just told me Quebec is where the thugs are at. All right. Let's go.
Yeah, but I live in the middle of the forest. I don't know.
Make up something. How will we know, Isaac? You can get robbed in the woods.
Vite push.
There you go. That's
into your pockets. Vite push.
There you go. All right. If you're anywhere and a French person walks past you and yells that, hey, either break out the karate or break out your wallet. All right. Oh, this is off to a great start. There we go. There, see, Carlos said, run them pockets. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. hey, homie. Hey, step out them shoes. Hey, step out them shoes, chief. I'm telling you.
You better have them hookers on for a good lunge and speed. You know.
I'm telling you, hey, it's time to go or it's time to go.
Yeah.
Now Mike is giving like shout outs to Compton. Shout out to Compton, 137th Street. Hey, I have no idea where that is. But you know, all I know about Compton, I know from watching movies and listening to the music. All right, now, before we get into the meat of it, I want people to kind of get like some like backstory about you. All right, so you are a competitor. You have competed in powerlifting. In fact, let's go ahead and let's just show something right here that you don't think I have.
My pitiful. What do you have?
Oh man, I got this, man. Boom.
You got what?
So this is this guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, lifting a little bit of weight right here. That's not even in competition. That's just him just kind of hoisted.
That was
some casual tugging.
Yeah, that was our deadlift party that we did a couple of years ago at the gym.
Yeah, so that's just casual, just casually tugging, All right. So that's some street cred right there. And then this is your home gym. All right. This is your home gym that you had during COVID.
Yeah, that was one of the evolutions. That's one of the
evolutions.
Yeah.
So was this the first, second, what evolution of your home gym is this? If you could tell.
I just realized those were some Iron Bull sleeves. Those were my first sleeves I ever had. Cool.
Were you working for the company yet?
No. At that point, I was trying to have some. I I was trying to chase some clout, posting on Instagram, hoping to be reposted.
Look at that. And now you work for the company. Look at that. You manifested it. First, you wear the. All right, that's the procedure. Wear the knee sleeves, get a job. Look at that.
There you go. There you go. Straight
This is the way. This is the way.
Yep. But yeah, that was the second evolution. The first one was the container gym, and then it was in the basement, and then a bunch of people agglomerated into a bigger basement for like a bigger home gym kind of.
So you guys kind of like pitched in together to
yeah, because for us, COVID lasted for like 3 years. That the gyms were closed and everything, so we needed to figure things out. You know.
How does COVID even survive up there? It's too cold for all that COVID.
Listen, there's a lot of questions.
I'm not a
lot of questions and not a lot of answers.
I'm not a biologist, virologist, or any other kind of ologist. Okay, I'm a talkologist. That's it. All right, but
there you go.
I just don't understand how something. Anyway, whatever. Hey, we got No Fate checking in. Y'all remember last week I told you that I made history because I actually got to see No Fate checking in to the hotel. All right, I'm the first man in history to say he actually saw him checking in real life. All right, now we got the jokes. Casey said, bugging someone in French, it says they're telling you to empty your pockets, but they're holding a croissant. Then they say sorry as they run off.
Yeah, but the croissant is more for the French. You know, we're French Canadian, so we would have a poutine.
Oh, how about okay, all right.
Do you know what a poutine is?
No, it's
basically French. It's French fries with the gravy and the cheese. It's a bit overrated.
Your entire nation has lost its way.
Oh yeah, well it's good.
The problem started when you had your funny shaped bacon.
My funny what?
Bacon is intended to be rectangular, not circular.
But it is. No, it is.
Bacon is not round.
No, it's rectangular. Well, at least the bacon.
You never heard of Canadian bacon?
I think that's a thing in the US, but there's no Canadian bacon in Canada. That's a US thing. Yeah, that's a US thing. Our bacon is just straight up bacon.
Hold up. Say that again. There is no such thing.
There's no such thing as Canadian bacon in Canada. There's only bacon, and it's rectangular. It's fatty and it's delicious.
Crispy like Jesus intended.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There you go.
You put a little bit of water in the air fryer so that way it cooks through evenly at 100 degrees, and then you crank up the heat in the air fryer so that way the fat renders and it cooks itself in the fat. That's the trick.
Oh shoot. Okay. Look at that. Y'all didn't even know you were getting recipes. Bacon recipes, all right? You got up early for this.
Listen, you got up. I'm gonna put you on some game.
Okay, exactly. Look at you. I used to put you up on game in French. I'm just gonna randomly ask you to say stuff in French this entire show.
Put you on some game. Let's see.
Come on.
My French is really not that good. I mean,
we gotta fix that.
I don't even know how to say it in Spanish.
You're really
listen. I listen too much. I listen too much to American media.
Don't you listen to any French hip hop? It's out there. I've heard it.
Yeah, but it's crap. I don't like it.
First of all, I've seen none of this has anything to do with what we're supposed to be talking about, but welcome to the show. So I've heard the like the show Nick Cannon does, where it's like people like battling each other, wilding out, and it's like a rap battle. Uh-huh. Okay, I've heard the French version of that. I don't know how I actually stumbled across it, but I heard the French version of it. I've heard French rappers battle rap. That was very interesting. All right, because I don't know what they were saying, but they meant every word. I can tell by their facial expressions.
Actually, I don't think that the French language pairs well with rap because of the tonic accents in French and in English are not in the same position. So when you speak in English, when you speak, certain words have like higher inflection in certain parts, and so hip hop was developed around those patterns of inflection. But in French, inflections are basically reversed. So it sounds really weird because how you would say a word with the inflections, it doesn't match. So that's why I don't like French rap or French, because it just doesn't sound good to me because of the inflections are not at the right spot.
Okay, I hear you, but all I'm saying is French has poetry, which means they have rhyming, and
yes,
and I because they had Napoleon, they have had at least one person yell, and so you can be aggressive. Napoleon proved that French people can be aggressive. They don't necessarily win their wars, but they can be aggressive. And so that's all you need for hip hop. You need to be able to rhyme and you got to be aggressive. All right. I'm going to get you some French hip hop. All right. That's my new mission in life.
There you go. Go ahead.
Look at Carlos up here using Google Translate. How you say that?
How do you say what?
You see the comments?
Yeah, but that mettez-vous sur du jeu, mais
that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me.
Mettez-vous sur du jeu.
There you go. Hey, you just said put you up on game.
There you go.
Oh, that's growth. That's growth right here. All right. Now, let's actually talk about stuff.
Yes, sir.
But the reason I show that is because you, like I said, you compete in powerlifting. You haven't competed since 2022 Sherbrooke Invitational, where I have it on good authority from Open Powerlifting, and I'm going to prove it to everyone who's watching right now. You posted a 1,201.5 total. We got bench numbers. So your squat was you missed 446, but you got 424. You got you missed 281 in the bench, but you got your opener. And that was only your second meet, so I expect to see some of that stuff. That's just meat jitters. And you pulled 523 and you missed 551.
Yeah, I'm gonna contest that deadlift. I in that deadlift, I have it in my heart. Everybody in that event knows that it's BS. I just wasn't do that, and then the judges didn't like that, so they give him the red card. So in my heart, I have that deadlift. In my heart.
In your heart.
In my heart. That's all that matters to me. All that matters to me.
Okay.
So I have that deadlift in my heart. Listen, the judges could be haters. I don't care. Haters gonna hate, as the greatest philosopher on this generation said. Haters gonna hate. However, because I'm not a hater, I'm counting it.
So let's go through some. There's one point of clarification. I wasn't one of the judges, and I have no power to overturn your deadlift ruling. But I respect your passion and the fact that you believe it was good. Okay. All right.
Listen, I'll go to my grave saying that it was a good deadlift.
Hey, hit you if you want to, man. I wasn't involved. I wasn't there. And now look what you've done. Now Carlos is translating everything into French with Google Translate. Like he did quote Taylor Swift. Okay, this is actually when you say haters gonna hate. But I thought that was 50 Cent.
No, it's Taylor Swift. That's a meme. Yeah, that's a meme.
Whoa, he said if they're gonna hate, let them hate, and then watch the money pile up. That's 50 Cent. Hey, whatever. I don't care. All right, let's get to your actual job.
Yes, sir. All right.
I was pretty hard, and I admit it. I wasn't pretty hard. I was extremely hard on arm pull strength in my videos over the past year, which probably is crazy because you guys sent me a rack. You sent me the PR2, and I was the first person we've talked about it. I was the first person to get a PR2 rack. It's a 5/8 rack, 5/8 hole rack, and I really loved the rack, but. And I said that I thought your products were legit, but then I said that the customer service was lacking because of stuff that I don't want to go back all through again. But basically, I said the customer service because I was missing something, and I think I reached out. through the chat, but I was mostly upset because there wasn't a customer service phone number. And I said, well, if somebody who's not me, if I recommend this rack, and somebody's watching this and they say, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. John said it's a good rack. I'm going to go ahead and buy it too. I'm going to go buy it, right? And then they have something missing. And they're like, oh, hey, I'm missing a bolt or I'm missing a weight horn. I mean, anything can happen. That's the nature of the world we live in. All right, mistakes happen. And they want to reach out to get a replacement part. I'm like, how are they supposed to do it? There's no customer service phone number. If somebody has a question about something before they make the purchase, they can't call you and ask the question. So I'm like, for that reason, I can't recommend iron bowl strength. That's what I said to everybody. I said the rack is great. It's our favorite rack. Up to that point, it was our favorite rack. And but I was like, I can't recommend it wholeheartedly because of that, right? So I'm gonna tell you, when we met at HomeGymCon 2025, I really sincerely appreciated that you sat down with me. I want to say it was Thursday night,
I think it was
or
Friday night.
maybe it was Friday night.
I think it was Friday night because Thursday night after just
That's right. That's right. We sat down Friday and we were just talking.
Yeah.
The thing was over and we just sat there and we were just talking. And you kind of unpacked not just your heart, but also the behind the scenes stuff about the challenges that your brand was facing. So I want you to, so I'm going to give you the platform. I was on it. I talked about you guys here. I talked about you in videos. I'm going to give you full screen. I want you to let people know, and I mean, we'll interact too.
Sure.
But let people know some of the reasons behind the challenges. Like, okay, start with the phone number thing. We think that's easy. Hire somebody for customer service. Why was it so difficult for you guys to find somebody, especially since I saw Frank in Vegas and he was like, yeah, we're looking for somebody. But all he said was, well, it's a challenge. But he didn't unpack why like you did. So I'm going to give you a big screen. Go ahead and unpack as much of that as you feel comfortable.
Yes, sir. So I think we need to start from the beginning. And I think it's a question of in what context we're in, right? We're a Canadian company, based in Quebec, French Canada. And so that from the get-go gives us a lot of challenges because in particular, Quebec, it's basically a socialist province. We're actually the most taxed territory in America, from Argentina all the way to, the northern parts of Canada. This is the most socialist kind of taxation part, which makes that the culture here is that a lot of people are really not that hard workers. The kind of the system just encourages you to do the bare minimum and knowing that, daddy government will take care of you. Moreover, this is a French place. There's not a lot of people that, are extremely fluent in English. I have thick accent and my words gobbled together because, I have 3 languages in my head trying to compete to come out at the same time. And, for a long time, it was a challenge just finding someone that was willing to put in the work, was able to speak both languages, and that had openness to learn the know-how. Because, when I got into Iron Bull, I was the customer support guy and the designer. So I was doing support on the mornings, and then in the evenings I was designing because we just moved into our new building a few months prior. Before me, it was Frank and Charles, our COO, who were doing the customer support. Because there were some issues before with the person doing the customer support. Whereas, I don't know if you remember, a couple of years ago, there was a big controversy about some barbells manufacturing in our facility in Canada.
I saw that on Reddit.
On Reddit. So what happened is that the lady who was doing the customer support, she was just, it was just a clock in, clock out kind of work. She just typed it in, and then just some mistakes of people really not caring about the brand, not just seeing as I work at Iron Bull, I work at McDonald's, and then just those kind of things led Frank and Charles to step back and say, we're not going to hire somebody for doing the customer support until it's the right person. So in April 2024, I came in because my friend Stefan, he's actually the one who hosted the meet we were talking earlier. It was his meet. And so he was like, come on, man.
So it's his fault that your deadlift didn't pass.
I don't
But he got you a job. He got
me a job.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. He got me a job.
All right. Continue.
But, so yeah, I started there as customer support. And then, the first few weeks were more of, trying to learn the ropes of, okay, those are problems and how to solve the problems, because there were brand new problems. We just moved in. We started manufacturing on our own racks and expanding our catalog of fabricated items. But and so we needed to learn, the production line, how to manage that correctly. We needed to figure out a way for the inventory guys to assemble and ship them correctly. We needed to figure out, okay, what happens where there are problems in the shipping. So for a while, and I think it's still a common practice for us, that when people have problems, we ask for pictures. It's not because we don't believe you, but we actually want to diagnose the problem, because if we don't know what the problem is, how do you want us to resolve it? So it was just trying to figure out, to navigate that environment of, okay, we're in a new phase of the company, a lot of new people. There was like a huge wave of onboarding people trying to do things their own way, not really having standard processes, which now we have. And it was just like that kind of beginning of like, okay, everything is happening at the same time. Everybody's just holding on by the seat of the pants, and mistakes happen. Could we done things differently? Certainly, but at the same time, I think the reality is that time. It's a limited resource, and we needed to focus resources at some key strategic areas. And the decision was made that for that moment, email will suffice. We needed to extinguish the other bigger fires in the background, like, for example, for the production line, for the assembly line, for the storage solution, for the all that background noise. And that way we can tackle that and then be full on focus on that external problem.
So here's the thing, right? And we talked about this a little bit last night as well too. The problem is that it's what we see. So you guys have a commercial line as well as the home gym line, right? And so I understand that you wanted your commercial customers, because your commercial customers are fine with email, right? For the most part, they'll just email, they're fine, right? The home gym community is different because we like, as I was saying, a lot of it is the personal touch. It's the feeling. It's like buying a car. Yeah. So if I am ordering a 100, I don't know, Ford, whatever, for my company, it's going to be a different interaction than if I'm coming to the car lot to buy one Ford, to buy one car, right? And so, and that's how I tell people, like, the best analogy for the home gym community is cars for a lot of things. So in the home gym community, what we see is stuff like, and this is from you guys' Instagram. We see this, like, this is Iron Bull strength. And so in our minds, this is this big company, and they're not meeting my needs. I need them to do this and that. They've got all this stuff. They're talking about how we got to, this is from 2024, is a growth and transformation. I'm like, oh, cool. They got, so those who don't know, this guy was whoa, I didn't expect that. This guy is Antoine. Yeah, he was actually sponsored by Universal Nutrition, which also also owns Animal Pack. But anyways, that's why I recognize him. But he's there. You guys have Jujimufu. And when people look at your website, the website looks like, hey, this is this big company. They've got everything, right? But I remember when you told me, like, well, look, actually, our entire company, including the people working in the warehouse, is like, what you said, 30 employees?
Roughly. All right. And I still remember when you sat down, like, this is how for y'all want to know, this is how the conversation with Isaac started. He sat down, he said, he walked in and he said, okay, so when you were complaining about customer support, you're talking about me. I was like, well, answer the phone then. I was like, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, I was like, hey, look, I said what I said, but we were able to talk about why I was saying it, because the perception is different than what the reality is. Because I had the perception because, okay, so I had Frank's phone number, right? And I've said this about other brands too, is like, I could text the owner of the company to resolve a problem. That doesn't make me feel good about the people who depend on me for my opinion, because they don't have his phone number. Yeah. I'm like, what's the regular way to get stuff done with your company? That's what the
the problem is for me. And so that's why I was so hard on it. But I will say I am pleased to say that you guys have a customer service number. You guys hired someone.
Yep.
And honestly, that was the biggest issue I had, right? But you kind of talked about like the political situation. It's hard for you guys to find somebody to even want to work, because I think you said like if somebody loses their job, they're not going to be in the poorhouse because it's a socialist country.
Yeah,
So
we have a big social sofa.
A social sofa. That wow. Okay, so
we don't have a social net. We have a sofa.
That's hilarious. It's like, and that's just something that's difficult because for a lot of us, we think of Canada as like, oh, it's like America, right? Because it's just right there. Heck, you're technically inside America.
Yeah,
because we have Alaska on one side.
Whoa! The Americas, maybe.
Okay.
But we're bigger, so I listen. We're a bigger country, so who's inside? Who's beside who? And listen, we're not gonna do geopoliticals, but if you want to,
in the words of LL Cool J, slow down.
If you want to do a measuring contest, it is what it is.
All right, let me show you something. So, all right, I'm gonna just do this for you. All right, so we're gonna just do this randomly. All right, okay. All right, cool. I'm going to share my screen right now. This is random. This is from Google. Okay, so that's America, right?
Yeah. In the middle because America.
All right, this is Canada, right?
Sure.
Okay, now, on the other side of Canada.
Greenland?
What's that?
Greenland in purple?
No.
That's Russia. That's
No,
Russia.
no. That, my friend, is a state. That's Alaska.
Yeah, but
okay.
Does it count? I mean, that's still Russia. Yeah, I'm sure people over there still speak Russian.
No. You are between You are between America and America, right? Okay, cool. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So technically, you're inside America.
Okay. We're an island.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
All right. Say sorry. Just kidding.
Sorry.
But I mean, like, we think of you guys as just like part of America, but as you were saying, there are real cultural differences. In fact, I placed an order for a lever belt from you guys, and it didn't hit me because if I had not had the conversation with you, it would not have occurred to me, because we placed our order and we're like, all right, where's my tracking? Mm-hmm. When's it coming? Right? Immediately I start checking. Well, I placed the order and I remembered, oh, it's Canada Day.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's a holiday. So I should not expect to get instant, you know what I mean? It's like, we don't, like, you guys have Thanksgiving on a different day than we do. So if we placing orders down here, we don't know, and I'll be honest with you, we have no idea what y'all are doing up there. Okay, so we don't know if we place an order. It might be a holiday. There might be all kinds of things going on that are preventing you guys from immediately jumping on it. And then it's like, oh, well, I can't call. Mm-hmm. Well, in the past we couldn't call. So that, like you were saying, you were calling it a cultural friction, I think.
Yeah.
So let's move forward, because you guys went to HomeGymCon. Coming off of what seemed like it could have been contentious, because there were other content creators who had mentioned having issues with you guys. Mm-hmm. Coming off of that, what was your feeling going into HomeGymCon? Like, were you apprehensive? Like, okay, how's this going to be? Mm-hmm. Like, what were your thoughts about what HomeGymCon was going to be like before you guys ever got there?
Sure. So going in, for me, I will speak on my perspective as the guy who designed most of the things that were on display. I was a little bit nervous because it's it's showing your work, and you're basically at the mercy of the market. You're at the end of the day, you're only as good as the market dictates your value. And so it was like I wouldn't say reality check, but it would be more of a okay, am I doing a good job? And that's something that's really important to me the strive for excellency, and it was a little bit stressful the days before, because I was thinking, what if people think my job is trash? If they don't like the product, because at the end of the day, I think that the lights went out. Hold on. So at the end of the day, I think that if the product is good and the quality will speak for itself, and all those other problems are solvable. But if the people think that the product is not where it's supposed to be, then there's a bigger problem than just customer support and figure out a way to have a US phone number. There's a deeper issue, and that was my I wouldn't say anxiety, but it was my concern, definitely.
I get that. That makes sense to me, because it's like it's like if people don't see the value in the product, then they don't want to make the efforts to actually try to buy it. The customer service, like you said, doesn't matter, because if I don't want it in the first place, I'm not gonna go to it. I'll say that it was interesting to me when I got there and we're looking at you guys' stuff, and I was watching. This is before we ever did our booth tour, but I was watching the faces of the people who went through there, people who spoke to me about your booth. Like they were like, oh, like Audi from Conquer the Weights. Shout out to Conquer the Weights. He came through and he was like, he's talking about your racks and things like that. So I assume it had to feel good.
Oh yeah,
to actually hear people talking about your racks.
Like, for sure, it was like,
the racks was just a pride. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. And in fact, we got two. This is now when I can pull it up. So Jared said, Iron Bull Strength had an excellent. He said that we had the excellent. He had the excellent booth tour with you. He said, dude's passion about the products was terrific. Could tell he cared about making great products. He said, I had the best jammer arm experience at your booth.
Shout out, Jared. I remember you, my man. You were the one who was in those the shoulder exercises with the jammer arms. Great energy. I love you.
And he also says the plates that you guys make in the house, which are now available, by the way, on your Canadian site, because people were asking me about it.
They will be in the US side, I think, early next week. That's what Frank told me.
Okay. Yeah, and they look amazing. And in fact, I'll let me see. I'll go ahead and I'll pull them up so that people can see them as well too, because I want people to see them. It's kind of like a sneak preview, I guess, of the it's a sneak preview of the tour. But yeah, I'm gonna scroll all the way down here because they look nice. They look really, really nice.
They were. That they were a little bit complicated to make. I'm gonna say they were a little bit of a puzzle to manufacture. But
how so?
Because our goal is to eventually make them IPF spec, right? So within 25 grams.
Okay.
And that's a hell of a manufacturing challenge within the processes that we have. So we needed to nail in like the density of each sheet of metal, because we figured out that between, let's say, the 1/8 and the 1/4 each sheet metal, there was a discrepancy in the density. Because I don't know, one was hot roll, one was cold roll, one was was not exact. One was the 1/8 was a gauge measurement, not a metric, not a like a measurement of 1/8. So we just needed to dial in like for every sheet, every thickness of sheet, like the right density, so that way we can just have it spot on. So right now, just for safety, we put it at 1%. Our goal is to eventually have it within 25 grams as the IPF rules, but that was a heck of a challenge.
So I'm doing right now. I'm just going through because it's like the Cerakote steel plates builder. It's not just buy the plates. You go on and you can get a 245-pound set, 355, 435, 685, or 960, and you can customize it like, well, I
Yep.
mean, how you
Whatever
want.
color, exactly. Whatever color
Yeah,
that
so
you
I'm
want.
just doing.
And then there's whatever logo you want to
And I
put
can
in
put my
right there.
own logo on there if I
Yes,
wanted to.
exactly. Like
Nice, man.
same,
That is
it's basically the same builder as our circle dumbbells. So it's the same
okay.
thing. You choose your color for the dumbbells. You choose whether whichever logo you want to put in. The same thing also for the bench. The AWB V2 bench is also a builder, so you can choose your upholstery, color,
Right.
firmness of the pad.
Okay.
So
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like a I think so. Carlos said, "Dang, those are gorgeous." Yeah, it's I think those are probably the best. My wife was like, "Yeah, those plates look amazing." And people commented on YouTube. I put the YouTube short up, and they were like, and I was actually I wasn't even talking about the plates. I was talking about
yeah,
the collars, and they're like,
yeah,
"Well, that's nice, but those plates are amazing," and people are
yep.
trying to buy them. So I can't wait till they are available for everybody to check out. Um, let's see. And Jared says his jammer arm experience. He says stabilization I felt with very little weight on those jammer arms got my attention to the big weights that felt great and is different than what I've been doing. That's I think is what's cool about your brand is that it's not just like you don't just take what's out there, but you try to move it forward.
Yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? It's like, oh, so this is a thing that people are doing, people are interested in. Let me move, see if I can move it forward, and I really like that. Talk to me before we get into just products in general, like
Hmm.
more specific in products. I want to know what your vibe because you told me how you guys felt going to HomeGymCon. You talked about what it felt like for people to admire the products. What was the vibe from your team in general? And this is more for Jake. Okay,
Hmm.
what's the vibe from your team in general going home? Because I know you didn't go to HFA in Vegas, but Frank was there and Cody, and so I know they came back and kind of reported to you guys, hey, this is how that's how it went, because you guys have a small,
Yep.
a small like really got a family atmosphere
Oh,
actually.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
Right?
family business.
So like they came back and said, well, you like how was it, and then he gave you a report.
Yeah.
So what was that like versus how you guys felt coming home from Home Gym Con? You're on the plane flying home. What was the vibe like with you guys?
So I think that HFA was, really a lot of business talk, was more business driven, not a lot, um, a lot of, how can I say, not a lot of questions about, a lot of questions about like MLQ, and then more of the technical side of of the manufacturing and of the bulk items, and more of the technical commercial side of it. So it was less personal. I think that
Hmm.
people that go there because they have, a business transaction to do or to prepare for.
Right.
And so it was a lot of more business driven. And yeah, so and in contrast, I think that Home Gym Con, I think that the most analogous environment that I've been to was going into high school. So
Go ahead,
it,
unpack. How so?
so first of all, I was flabbergasted on the amount of, like, I don't know if it's the good word, but it's the word I'm gonna use, politicizing that there is in the backgrounds. So like
Huh.
clicks going in, and then there's this click, and then there's like the satellite people that go in between clicks,
Okay.
and there's like the interdynamics within that click, the interdynamics in between, and then there's like, it felt really like high school, where you have like, okay, those are set group, this is set group, that it's like somebody who like permeates in between the groups, and then we're like the new kids on the block, and like, hey, what's up, guys? And everybody's like, what you
Okay, so
want?
you mean like people who like this brand, people who like this brand,
Oh
and
yeah, or
then
even like creators, or
okay,
in between creators, there's like a little group of creators that hang out together, and then there's
all
like
right, I
this
got
little
you. Yeah,
kind of people who hang out together,
yeah.
and
There's
there's like
definite
little,
affinities. Yeah,
yeah. So it really felt like a high school kind of vibe of like, okay, there's that click, and then there's that click, and then there's
okay,
wherever click, and then there's like people who just like living their life, doing their thing, just
Yeah. All
So
right.
yeah,
So
it
then,
really felt like high school.
so coming home though, so
Yeah,
that was how you felt when you got there. I'm
yeah.
saying like after the weekend's over, how did you feel about the weekend in general?
Well, I think it went really well. I think it gave us the chance to, show what kind of people is behind the company. So
Okay.
to give like the real or the accurate version of what is Iron Bull or who are Iron Bull.
Gotcha.
So our personalities, which necessarily are gonna reflect in our product and our business,
Okay.
and so Frank's personality, Charles' personality, Stefan's personality, my personality, and my beliefs and how I design. And so
Yeah.
I think it gives us the chance to put it out there. Like, listen, this is who we are. We're not like a bunch of suits. We're
Yeah.
bunch of ex-military guys, bunch of ex-powerlifting guys, a tight knit group,
Right.
and yeah, on my end, there were some people that I wanted to talk to, like some creators and some other companies that I just because of the creative side that I wanted to talk to, type things out, and it gave me the chance to speak to those people,
Yeah.
and and
Present.
some not, some were like too cool for you, so I like whatever, dog. I don't care. Listen, I'm way too old to be worrying about politic games. Listen,
Okay.
my family fled Colombia because they were sick of the politic game. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go back into that slavery of
Right.
like trying to
100%.
be huh?
No, I said 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I get it. Yeah.
listen, it is what it is.
So, hey, Vernon, what's up, man? This Usawa
Oh
Fitness.
yeah, I remember him. He was next to us. He was great, like the most
Yeah.
infectious like energy that was a HomeGymCon by
Heck
far.
yeah, man. I love meeting Vern. He's based in Chicago, so it was really cool meeting him. And I appreciate you. This is his first time on watching the show, or at least commenting on the show. So
Sure.
appreciate you being here, Vern. Thanks for being here, man. So
wait, hold on. I have something for Vern though.
what else going on? Where do you?
Because
That's not how the show works. You got to stay
he's
on
from
the way.
Chicago, right? He's from
Oh,
Chicago.
boy.
So,
Here we go.
So there you go.
Shouldn't that be like the Saskatchewan Rough Riders or something? What is that?
Oh yeah. What's the Saskatchewan?
See, you didn't know I knew CFL team names.
Yeah, listen, I don't listen to CFL. I listen to actual sports.
Whoa, shots fired. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, it is what it is.
Okay.
And listen, I love myself some Calvillo, OG quarterback from the for the Montreal team.
Yeah.
Guy, fellow Christian, love the guy. But listen,
Green Bay.
Green
That is hilarious, right here. Now you got everybody talking about you're a cheesehead. You're a cheesehead. That's hilarious. So let's talk about products, because that's what everybody cares about. They're like all this other background stuff. Let's talk about products. So what was the most popular product from your booth?
I think our twist on the selectorized functional trainer was really popular. The bell squat was a hit that we didn't expect.
Yeah.
The story behind the bell squat, when we released the high low.
All right.
Frank, because we train at work during our lunch hours, we were training. Frank trains with us too. We were talking, and it was like, we really need a belt squat, and we're like, yeah, but I don't see the I don't see the relevance for us now to create like I want to say a rogue rhino, but I'm not, because listen. All I'm going to say, people, I'm gonna put you on some game. Go and Google King's Box, Mighty, SPS, and draw your own conclusions. That's all I'm going to say. So, and also the release date. I'm just going to say that.
So are you insinuating that there's?
I'm not insinuating nothing. I'm just reporting. Just reporting. Okay. If people want to draw their own conclusion, it's a free country.
King's Box.
King's Box. Italian company, the mighty SPS.
Okay.
You're welcome, ITX, by the way.
Okay.
But
Okay, yeah, I mean, because okay, so
So
that goes back to some of the drama that you were talking about, like
yeah,
because people know. Okay, so for those who don't know, there was like a cease and desist from Rogue against ATX when they came with their I don't want to call it their version of the Rogue Rhino, but it's essentially a product like that. And Rogue did a say you can't even bring it out of the don't. So that's why they didn't have it at the
booth.
at HomeGymCon. They didn't have it at booth because Rogue gave them a cease and desist, which is interesting. Okay, you know now I am gonna say it.
King's
I
Box,
don't understand.
Mighty SPS.
I hear that you're saying that the King's Box Mighty SPS came first, right? And that's only in Europe. The point I'm making is ATX doesn't sell products in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So for the whole point behind a patent is that you're is saying that you are preventing yourself from losing sales. So
Yeah.
how does somebody displaying a product that can't be sold in your country affect your sales in that country? That's all I'm saying. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm back off of
So
that.
yeah, so while we were training, we were like, oh yeah, we really need like a belt squat. That would be nice. So that was like almost a year ago.
Okay.
Priorities change. Some products had to be released. Some product had to be developed. So that came into the back burner. And then for HomeGymCon, we're like, oh yeah, so just let's bring up little belt squat, like a little platform that you could roll in, roll out. It would be a great addition for our pulley system or high-low because it's plate loaded. We were like, oh yeah, I think it would be a great addition. So I just, cooked something up really fast. I figured if I was able to do a high-low and putting like a pulley on a platform, well, might as well just do it a row too. So that's where the idea of combining the row
I
two came
love the
about.
way the road. You guys will see when after the show's over, you'll see the booth tour, and you'll see me using it. And I love how easy. First of all, it transitions very easily from the belt squat to the row. I
Yeah.
love that the foot plates, everything. It just made sense. I see your comment, Trevor. I have a response about the two types of patents, but go ahead, Isaac.
Yeah. That's also like a big old can of worms. But
We said so.
so
The
so
belt
yeah,
squat was popular. Was the most popular.
it was really popular, and for us it was kind of like of unexpected because it was kind of a napkin sketch basically. It was just cobbled together, just
Wow.
send it to the production line, and then it kind of pop. So
Okay.
that's why I'm right now, my task is basically finishing up the instruction manual for the bench light, and then I'm going to flesh out that product. And there's a lot of feedback from the community, you know some that is realistic, some that is not. So try and filter those
Yeah,
expectations
of
too,
course.
because at the end of the day, if you want to be everything, you're going to become nothing. So
100%.
so
100%.
there's things that people wish that it could do, but realistically it won't be able to, because it wouldn't be ergonomic, too big.
Sure.
So there's the reality is there is not such thing as a perfect product. There's
Yeah.
just it's just good enough for whatever it is. There's
Yeah.
whatever you buy. There's no perfect car, just a good enough car for whatever problem that you have. So for the crowd that product is intended for, we're trying to do our best, but it's not going to be a perfect product because it's not. But I believe that it's going to be awesome. Like I already shaving some weight because that was a big concern. It was heavy as hell. So trying to slim it down a little bit, and already shave like I think 25 pounds, but still trying to shave it in, making more like streamline and some other things. But yeah, I think, hey, if some people from other companies took pictures, I'm like, I'll take that as a compliment.
So my wife said her favorite items at your booth were the cable crossover rack and
Yeah,
a new selector rise weight stack. Um, you kind of mentioned this just now, but because people were giving you feedback about products.
yeah.
What was the best piece of unsolicited advice you guys got? Like where somebody walks up and says, "Hey, you know what would make this better if you did this." So, what was the best piece of advice that you guys got about any of the products at your booth? Because a lot of
Oh,
the stuff that you guys took
yeah,
were prototypes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what was
So
the best piece of advice you got?
so the meme answer is the numbers on the weight stacks. Like, yeah, we know it's a prototype. We know that there's going to be We
Oh
need
yeah, yeah.
numbers. So that was like everybody was, oh, but it's really numbers. Like, yes,
I think
we
I
know.
even said that even in the video. I was like, "Where are the numbers?" And you're like, "Yes, it's a prototype." It was like, "We're gonna add numbers." And then what's funny is you said we're gonna put numbers on it, and then I think I asked you anyway, "Are you gonna put numbers on it?"
Like,
It's like I
yes.
just said that. Yes, we're gonna put numbers on it. Okay, that's cool. But I do like the way the weight stack looks though, and I guess actually I think a better question would have been, but I didn't know how to phrase it. Was and I wish we had. Is this on your website? I know it's a prototype, but it's not on the website
No,
at all,
not
right?
yet. No, no, no.
Okay. So you guys definitely will need to watch the video after this because the plates are so thin that what I was really trying to process is where are you going to put the numbers because the plates are so thin. So I'm sure you've got it figured out or whatever, but that's what's like in my head, like how are you gonna do this?
Yeah, so that's why we didn't solve the issue yet, because that's the smallest problem. So we're just trying to figure out the big problems first and then leave the
Right.
small
I'm
problems
like,
to the end. So
I got you.
finding a way to put numbers, that's a small problem. It's a problem, but it's a small problem.
Okay. All right. Trevor said that he liked the weight selector pins that you guys
Yeah.
use for the play stack.
Yeah.
And they were very eye catching. So again, I sound like a broken record. You guys need to watch the video after this. The tour will be premiering. I'm telling you, you guys will see a lot of stuff. And what I'll do, Isaac, when the video comes out, if you take a little bit of time or whatever, I know you obviously have a work day or whatever because it's not 4th of July for you guys. But
Nope.
if you have time to just go on there and just check and see if there are comments and answer comments that go on there because I know people have comments after they see the video. Now, you've kind of mentioned a little bit of stuff already, but as I said, a lot of the stuff that you guys had there were prototypes.
Yeah.
So that means you've got stuff that's coming out. So as we start to wrap this up, what can you tell me about what's coming down the pipeline from Iron Bolt Strength? That's you already said that the Cerakote plates will be available next week. Okay, for example, what's coming down the pipeline that we can expect from you guys, say in the next 6 months?
So we are starting the prototyping phase for our combo rack. So for us powerlifters, it was with me and Stefan, we've been pushing it for a while. We want a combo rack, and so you said if I ever going to go back on the platform, well, I guess that when we have a combo rack and there's the sponsor event, well, I don't think that I'll have a choice but to compete. So so the combo rack, that's a big thing coming in. I think it's gonna be great. I wasn't in charge of that one, but looking at it and whatnot, I think it's gonna be an awesome product. Then the belt squad is gonna come out relatively soon. Next week, I'm gonna start doing the design reviews and making it ready to come to market. Then the selectorized are gonna be a big priority too. And then, there's some other things that are in the works. I'm not going to disclose. No, I'm not. But, I'm going to say they're classic. Nah.
What if I promise not to tell anybody?
Okay, fair. So they're a classics, but with a twist. That's all I'm going to say. So
okay, how about it? Meet me in the middle. How about this?
Sure.
As soon as you guys have prototypes that you are ready to reveal,
right,
will you come on this show and show them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see
why not either. I just want to know if you're doing.
So that's again, I'm the designer. I'm not the PR guy. That's something that has to be spoken with Frank and all that. But I'm gonna give it a push. I'm gonna push a little bit. Like, come on, dog. Yeah. I'm gonna push.
Debut the products. Carlos said, "Hey, so look, Carlos promises not to tell anybody."
Okay,
he said we'll keep it between us.
All right, Carlos. But yeah, I'm gonna say that it's we're trying to aim really at the essentials and the classics, because one thing also that observing the home gym community for a while, I've like you said, from COVID I started having a home gym. Like it's really interesting how cyclical and how trendy things are. Like, just this year, we started with the craze for the tornado arms, and then it switched into the pendulum. Now everybody wanted a pendulum, and now the pendulum craze is dying down, and now it's the leg extension, leg curl craze that's coming up, and then when that's gonna die, then it's gonna be a new trend coming up.
It'll be back to
And
lever arms again.
yeah,
Whatever,
it's always like a and so we figure that it's, there is a time and a place to chase the trend, but it's also important to realize that what people are going to buy are the essentials. So like
Right.
the rack, and nailing in, not to do like a good rack, but a great rack. And so the rack, and then the jammer arms, not doing a good jammer arm, but doing a great jammer arm, and then all those essentials that are basically timeless, but just doing it great. And so that's where we're gonna aim our product, to just doing the classics, but doing them great and with our little twist.
Actually, there's something I didn't plan on. So I didn't plan on really talking a whole lot about this because we talk about it in the other video. But you guys actually have started manufacturing in the U.S. So you make your barbells.
Yeah. Yes.
You have 2 made in the USA barbells.
Yep.
So when can we expect those bars? Let me ask you a different question, because I remember when Kabuki came out with the deadlift bar, and there were only like 2 in existence, and I was one of the first people to see it because I happened to be at the competition where they unveiled it.
Mhm.
But there were literally only 2 in existence. They made those 2 for the competition. So the ones that I saw at HomeGymCon, that we all saw at HomeGymCon, are those like the power bar, is that the only one, and then the other multi-purpose bar, is that the only one, or do you guys have like a limited run? Or
No,
it's where are we in the timeline?
It's going to be a full-fledged production line.
Okay.
The thing is,
I'm talking about what, like right now. Like what do you have right now? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, right now, that, as from what I know, again, I'm only the designer. I don't know what's going on in other departments besides me. But from what I gathered, those were the first out of the production line that were sent to HomeGymCon, and then there's like the logistics side of distribution that's going to be figured out. But I think that from what I hear, it's going to be like a fairly quick process turnaround to make them available.
Got you. Okay. So
and then we're going to also produce our bars for the international audiences outside of the US and Canada, but those are going to be made in our factory.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we can keep an eye out for those bars, because I really like the power bar, and I like the multi-purpose bar as well too. Something that is a little bit of a random tangent, but you and I were talking about Chris Duffin's hydraulic bench press, and I couldn't find the video last night. So before I let you go, just so that you guys see like the kind of stuff that Isaac likes to watch, on, like, you see, kind of get an idea of like stuff that would be on his timeline. I found something else for your timeline, and I will actually send you this link, but here it is.
Thank you.
Right, so this is Chris's. So you see, he's got the drill in his hand.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because so Chris and I were talking about this 5 years ago when I interviewed him, and I had already seen it, but I was like, "Hey, when do we get expect this?" And it's still not in production. But yeah, he was like, "See how it's going down." It's obviously got some challenges or whatever, but I just wanted everybody who's watching this, and I'll link to this in this video too, if anybody else wants to kind of check it out. It's still on his YouTube channel. This is his automatic uprights, so that you guys can check it out. Because I know that we have a bunch of gearheads on here who like seeing stuff like that. Anyway, before I let you go, my man, we got 2 minutes left. Project 5 years into the future. What does success look like for Iron Bull Strength?
So I think we're going to have a full-fledged catalog on the home gym space and the commercial side. We're working hard on developing both aspects of the company. So I think by 5 years, it's going to, both catalogs are going to be pretty well developed. I think that now we are going to become undeniable. So, how I took every, all the people that just kind of shrugged the shoulder where they pass our booth and they were like doing like a conscious effort to not come into our booth. Well, how I took it, because I'm really competitive guy. I'm like, well, now you just put another chip on my shoulder, and I'll make us undeniable. So, there will not be another time where people are just gonna say like, I choose not to come. You will have to come because I'll make us undeniable. And so, yeah, I think that we're going to strive to keep high production quality, production value, on like high-end design inspirations, but with affordable prices ish, because at the end of the day everything is expensive nowadays. But yeah, I think that we're gonna have like full-on catalog, and we are going to become undeniable and the reference for the home gym space with our quality and, I think, cleverness of execution and design.
All right, my man. I believe you, man. I love that. Become undeniable. That's actually one of my buddy Greg from shout out to G Code Nutrition sent me a note, a handwritten note one day that kind of like just was like encouragement. He included those words in there, and I'm gonna pass it along to you. Said like keep on doing what you do and keep showing people that sometimes the good guys do win. Okay. So I want people to be able to follow this journey though. And if somebody wants to buy something, how can they buy something if they're interested in making a purchase? And
So,
how can they keep up with you, with everything Iron Bro Strength? Let's give them the links now.
So you can follow us on Instagram, so Iron Bull Strength. Also our website, or American website and Canadian website, so ironbullstrength.com. And for the Canadian side, just put a CA in front, so ca.ironbullstrength.com. And yeah, so that's where you can subscribe to our newsletter. You're gonna see all the newest releases. There's also like a YouTube channel where we do some where we did a lot of stuff, and I think it's gonna get back in action. But main social media platform would be Instagram, and the main place to buy would be ironbullstrength.com.
All right, my man. Thank you so much for being here, man. Thanks for spending.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for getting up early and talking to me. And honestly, I'm gonna say this. Hey, Kurt, what's up? Welcome to the show. I want to say, man, quite honestly, Naomi and I are pulling for you guys to succeed. We love your products, and after getting to know you guys at HomeGymCon, we believe in your brand, and we believe in you guys. Okay, we want you to succeed.
Thank you.
And I love the fact that for what you guys are doing. Thank you for trusting me to help you tell your brand story by coming on the show. And keep on doing what you do. You have an open invite to come back on and talk and give us the French translation for anything or talk about new products. Okay, my man?
There you go, for sure.
All right, man. Yeah, have a good day.
See you guys. See you guys. Bye-bye.
My man. Bye. All right, so that was my guy, Isaac Yubocha. And, as JB, this is actually probably the best way to say it. JB TV says, I never experienced Iron Bull until HomeGymCon. Hearing this interview gives me more confidence in the products. The fact it's designed by people who lift is a great thing. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a 100%. That's why, to be honest with you, that's why I do this show, because you can get a lot of perspectives from different creators. And, it's cool. You have the creators that you like watching, but I think there's even more value in me letting you talk directly to the people who make the racks, who make the functional trainers, who make the pendulum squats, who make the lever arms. Talk directly to them and ask them your questions instead of having to get it filtered through somebody like me who's doing a product review. I want you guys to be able to talk to the people who make your stuff and make your decisions based upon knowing them and knowing what they're trying to accomplish. So that's kind of like why this show to me is so special. Now, just as special, my dude Rob from Vintage Weights PGH is backstage, ready to go. All right, he's a content creator. Went at the Vintage Weights PGH YouTube channel. He's also, you can follow him on Instagram at Vintage Weights PGH. He recently wrote a biography of the late Pop Soren from Sorenex, and he's in his second year of running the grip competition at HomeGymCon. So everybody give a warm welcome to our last guest of the day, my guy Rob. Rob, come on, man. Thanks for getting up with me. What's up? Look at the hair. Look at that. He's got the Johnny Bravo. He's
I'm up early.
Hey, look at that. Got the Johnny Bravo hairstyle. Look at you.
I was working out. I was training in the gym. I just threw on the shirt for the show. This is what
that
you get.
hair goes with a tuxedo and an old school condenser mic. He's like, all right, now tip your waitresses.
That's right. Tip your waitresses. Don't forget about John on the mic. So yeah, that's it.
Hey. Well, man, you got to hear a little bit of the interview before we get into the other stuff. This is kind of like the HomeGymCon reaction, but I want to hear like what you thought, because you were able to hear a lot of the interview while you were backstage. Like, what was your impression of Iron Bull's strength before HomeGymCon?
Horrible.
And what is it today? No, be honest.
Yeah, I'll come right out with it. Horrible. They stood me up like it was the week after junior prom. So I had a somewhat similar experience as you, only I didn't get any equipment. I got stood up before that point. So I shouldn't say horrible, just kind of like, I mean, I started about 6 months ago. I started in a more concerted effort doing modern gym equipment reviews. So now I toggle back and forth. I'll put out a video about something old, and then I'll put out about something new. Like I got a RitFit hack squat and leg press machine sitting over in the corner of my gym right now I'm working on. Right. So I'd reached out to them. I was curious about them, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. Boom. And the weight plates coming out next week were the thing that I wanted. I was like, yes, like, let me get some of those.
Pretty.
Yeah, they look great. So they were like, yes, we're going to get those to you. And then it was just kind of like, didn't hear back. I kept asking. So then I just let it go. You know what I mean? Like, it's no big deal. I mean, I'm not like, you don't have to send me something for a review. Like, it's okay. Like, whatever. But then as I heard, like, you talking about customer service, and I'm, Flex marks the spot with the Frankenstein rag, all kinds of stuff, I was just like, man, this is like a problem with this company. So then at HomeGymCon, they were in there in a big way. I mean, they had a prime spot, first of all, and they had a really nice layout. I could tell even when the crates were placed before they even unpacked. Like, I was there Wednesday afternoon. I was like, ooh, they're setting up like a big booth here. So then I started talking with them, and I had the same experience as you. Like, you start putting a face to a name, and I wasn't shy either. The same thing I just said, I said to them, and they were very truthful. They were like, look, like, we're getting our stuff together. Tariffs are happening. This is, there's bigger things.
And that's another thing we don't think about. Like, there are tariffs from Canada. We always think about the Chinese tariffs, but yeah.
And I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm a small YouTube channel compared to others. And I know that. I mean, I'm not trying to flex and, be something that I'm not. So, yeah, they were just very honest about it. So that right out of the gate was like, okay, I'm going to grab my stuff. I'm going to film in this booth and get to know them even more. So I hung out. I kept stopping back like Wednesday night, all day Thursday, seeing what they were putting together, chatting with them, getting to know Stefan, getting to know Isaac, talking with Frank, and and having some fun too. Like, I was there when Stefan took the 200-pound dumbbell out of the box, the beast, and like we were messing around with it, trying to lift it. So, not just popping in for an interview, but actually hanging out with them for a while was really cool, getting to know them a little bit. And I've messaged with Isaac since, and maybe we'll do something in the future, maybe we won't. But either way, it really left me with a very good impression of them.
Okay. I think, and so it's funny because as you were saying, I'm not trying to pretend I'm something that I'm not. This comment popped up. Hey, Kurt Locker says, well, I was like, well, you may not pretend something you're not, but you are one of the Kurt Locker's favorite humans. And that there, hey, yeah.
You know what? Kurt just woke up. He just woke up because he's literally been sleeping since HomeGymCon. He works so stinking hard.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that's
my goodness. Strongman Throwdown was incredible, and Kurt was superhuman putting that together.
So shout out to him and shout out to you. And in fact, I saw this somewhere. Okay, yeah. So JBTV said he discovered you because of your preview video, your HomeGymCon preview video. And I actually shared it on my community post section.
I appreciate that.
Because I was like, yeah, I mean, well, that's what that section's for, is like to just post stuff that people need to know, right? It's not necessarily, hey, remind you to go watch my videos, right? I figure if you're on my channel at all, you're already kind of gonna watch my videos, right? But I'm like, I want it to be a way to promote other people who put out good stuff. And as soon as I saw that, I actually sent I sent the video to Naomi because we were making our travel plans, finalizing our travel plans as well. I said, "Oh, here's something Rob says. Don't worry about the valet parking."
Yeah.
And
You got past that.
as JB said, right? Said you saved for paying for valet parking as well. So now the golf house probably got you on their radar.
Oh yeah.
That Rob's got to go. All right.
I just slapped it
wait.
together real quick. It was only like 4 minutes, and like
Dude,
my
it
son
was
was there with me. My
Impactful.
cameraman.
It was,
Well, thank you.
Oh, all right. Jake said we should stop flirting. That's hilarious.
Nah.
And you know what? And shout out to Jake's sister. Naomi and I call her the HomeGymCon mom because it's like everything that you needed. We're like, hey, you know where we get something to drink? She's, oh, well, I got snacks right here. You want something? Would you need coffee with it? You know where we get some napkins? Oh yeah, hold on, I got them in my bag. Like anything you needed, she's like just pull it. I was like, first of all, how big is that bag?
Yeah.
Right. She had like this straight up mom bag, right? That's hilarious. And then Trevor said there must have been 3 of you at HomeGymCon because he saw you everywhere, which is crazy, like because you're running a grip competition, and you're getting content, and you're going around saying hi to people. I was like, this is amazing. And you worked your son a lot. You worked it. I was like, that's good. I was like, this is. I noticed violation.
I paid him well. I paid him.
Okay. I was like, man.
I paid him. Yeah. I mean, he's my 11-year-old cameraman. And that was a big help. That's something I did last year because at the first HomeGymCon, I realized, man, by myself, like running around from the camera, trying to make sure I'm within the frame, it's bonkers. And just needing like a gopher, needing someone like you were just saying, like, oh man, like I just cut my ankle open doing a deadlift at this booth. Like, can you get me a Band-Aid somewhere? Yeah. So my son, he came last year and was a great help. So then my oldest, I have 4 children, but he's my oldest. My other children are begging to come. So once they get a little older, maybe I'll switch out. Plus
they'll be at the swing sesh booth and you won't be able to keep up with
them. Yeah, exactly. So he's my cameraman and he was working hard at the grip competition. So that's, last year, that was my big takeaway from last year was trying to budget my time a little bit better because last year I really felt fried. I felt like I didn't get to hang out with anyone. So coming out of last year, that was my big goal this year was to really do well for Jake, really do well for HomeGymCon and, go above and beyond when it comes to recording Home Gym History podcast. That's the podcast I do for Jake on Garage Gym Radio. Go above and beyond when it comes to the grip competition and promoting HomeGymCon, but like budget it out so that then I also can run around and film some stuff for Vintage Weights PGH. So I think it worked out better this year because I really kind of took some things into play. Like, for example, I realized from last year that like on setup day, not many people are going to film a video with you. So don't stress about it. Just, setup day is my setup day for grip comp. So get that all set up. And then this, I guess, is advice, unsolicited advice for small content creators or any content creators is that on setup day, film some equipment and things, but, most companies are going to get offended if they're still setting it up. So really setup day is when that person has a free moment to make connections and to get in with companies. Because if you help them set up, if you lend a helping hand, you're going to be the one that on the actual day, they're like, hey, Rob, what's up? So going around on setup day and just getting the grip comp set up and not worrying about filming content, really budgeted my time and making connections. So kind of like you said in the chat the other day, booking interviews, I was kind of doing that in person on Thursday. Like, hey, I really want an interview with you. I want to see this when it's set up. Exactly. Like, remember me? That guy that was like holding.
Can I help you carry?
Holding the crate up.
Something while we're walking. Yeah,
exactly. So actually, the only interview I filmed was on Thursday was Iron Bull. That was it.
Oh, sweet.
Thursday night because they finished setting up, so it was kind of like, all right, you guys ready? You're not too exhausted.
So it's and Isaac is still in there. He said he's got that. You talk about your voice. He said you got the radio voice. He said y'all must have a portal gun. You and your kid must have a portal gun or something. I'm telling you, man. It's I'm actually surprised a little bit because Jake put like the contact list for all of the brands who are up. Like he put them up like months ago. Like, hey, these are the brands that are gonna be there, whatever, right? And so I actually just thought that everybody was reaching out and saying, hey, I want to talk to you guys at HomeGymCon because they're sending like the brands are reaching out to me. I actually had a couple in let's see, I don't know who it was. So I actually David, I know he's in here from Kodo Gi Grips. He said, "What's up?" Yeah, so
my guy.
I didn't get to talk to him at the competition, and I we not had any contact. But that's the other thing is like after HomeGymCon last year, same thing happened. I had brands who were like, "Hey, I didn't get to talk to you," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's connect. Let's make sure we do it next year, right?" So it's like immediately I'm like, all right, so we're set up for next year. We've already got our first few interviews set up for whenever HomeGymCon is next year. I've already got like tentative agreements with people who are like, yeah, we're gonna have you come to a booth tour, right? And so I honestly thought it was funny because somebody was in our so we have a content creator for those who are watching. There's a content creator chat, right?
It's a secret society.
Yeah, well, we have them everywhere. What's funny is like we have one on Facebook. We got the one on Facebook. Got the one on Instagram. Yeah, but it's just funny because we're just all talking about it, like batting ideas around. And I remember I said the thing about setting up interviews ahead of time, right? And like we had this long conversation, and I saw Tim coming in. He was like, "You guys will set up interviews ahead of time." I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, I do it because otherwise it's too chaotic in the heat of the moment. Because you got to think about like the brand is also potentially trying to sell stuff, right? It's not like the thing that's different about HomeGymCon from HFA or maybe not so much to Arnold, but maybe Fibo is a lot of that stuff is business to business. So they're not expecting to make sales there. This is really just, hey, stuff we're showing you kind of like, so you have an idea of what we can provide. Now you're going to call me later. We exchange information and then you'll make the sale later because you're going to order like 200 units for your different whatever, right? HomeGymCon, this guy right here is trying to buy something right now, right? Yeah. So that's an immediate sale. And so it's not like, oh, well, just tell them to come back later or I'll get back with you later on. You might have just lost the sale. So as the content creator, you have to be sensitive to that. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's a lot better to just say, hey, hey, give me this time slot. And I also try to do it at a time when I know it's less likely to be as busy with just the regular attendees. Mm-hmm. That hurts me. So like, for example, during the morning workout time, I don't get to work out. And that's actually one of my lessons learned. It's like, I know my workout's going to be very limited, if at all. Oh, yeah. So next year, it's just going to be deload week. Yeah. I'm just going to say it's deload week. I'm not going to worry about it because
since I was competing in the grip competition as well as running it, I kind of tapered that out anyway. Right. But I agree. I think, this is a compliment to you, but your garage gym life. So when you say, hey, let's schedule a time, that's a little different than someone with like 3,000 subscribers saying, hey, let's schedule a time. So maybe it's just the companies I reached out to, but I tended to take a more of a, hey, let's just touch base. Let's get a little recognition with the logo, with the name, and then be flexible. So I kept looping around. I was like a shark. So I come around, I'm like, oh, Gluck's in there. And then I come back around like, oh boy, there's Jungle Gym. And then I come back around. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, well,
this is my time. And then I boom, it's strike. I'm like, I'm in there. So
I'm picturing you in a ghillie suit that for some reason is like the same thing but it's all concrete. So it's got to like look like that. So it's got to be like camouflage for the concrete in the convention center.
At first, it was frustrating because, I'm used to HomeGymCon #1, where it was like me, you, and Ashton. That was it. So at first, it was a little frustrating. Like, whoa, there's like 50 content creators. But then it quickly was like, oh, these are my people. The same way, like, seeing all the home gym people, it was the same idea. Like, going to Chipotle and sitting down and, oh, my gosh, it's like hybrid resistance and no fader, just chilling here, having a burrito, talking about like, what do you got over there? Okay, I'm using this thing and I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
But see, I saw them actually working out. I'm like, how are y'all having time to work out? I'm like running, my face is in my phone. Okay, I got an appointment over here. You got to go. Oh, hey, how you doing? And somebody said, hey, can we take a picture with you? Of course, I'll take a picture with you.
Yeah.
But then when that interaction is done, okay, we got 5 minutes to be over here. Let's go. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't the only one that I know. We Naomi was talking to Mike, nice like Mike,
Yeah.
and she said that he was kind of having a little bit of sensory overload, and I was like,
Oh.
yeah, because you gotta think about it, man. This is a yes, Kurt. There's a content creator channel. You know very well, but it's like we're a group of introverts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you put a group of introverts into a room with each other, we're still all introverts.
Yep.
Right. And there's the lights, there's the sound. Although I will say HomeGymCon didn't have the overbearing music like at some of the trade shows I've been to. Thank God.
Yeah.
But we're introverts. So there's times where we're like, okay, I've peopled enough. I need to take a break,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Naomi and I got that by going upstairs to transfer stuff from our SD cards onto our hard drive. So that would give us like a little bit of a break and just like, okay, it's just me and you in here. Or maybe one other person comes in and I just, like I talked to Mike's brother, he's a former Marine as well. So we talk about Marine Corps stuff. And then you just kind of, a little bit. Okay, now I can go back down in there and be around people again, right? Did you experience that? Like,
100%.
Everywhere I looked at people.
Oh, well, not only that, but like, it's a huge compliment, but a lot of people want to talk to you too. And I mean,
Yes.
I'm so flattered. I'm honored that anyone's watching what I put out there.
I am shocked.
It's shocking. And I mean, my son and I were like blown away how many people came up like, hey man, I saw this video. What's up? So I always kept like a bunch of stickers in my pocket. I give them a sticker and say, hey, what's up? Like, you can take a picture, whatever. So I'm honored. I'm blown away. But on the other hand, when I'm done with, filming or done with talking with a company or doing whatever, it is sensory overload for sure. And not just that, but it's also sensory overload because this is the thing I love, home gym equipment, and it's everywhere. So what I tended to do was last year I started doing this by the last day, by Saturday. And this year I did it from the get-go. It was one of those lessons learned last year was I'm there with my son. So take a break. So that we got in a rhythm. Like you could even track my breaks. If you look at my Instagram, I would, every time I posted something on Instagram.
It's like, where's Rob?
Yeah, well, that was the moment.
Where in the world is Rob San Diego? Okay.
Yeah, that was the moment before I took a significant break because that's what I would do. I would say to my son, hey, man, I'm going to post this for a couple minutes. And then I'd say, okay, what do you want to do? And he'd say like, I want to get the high score in a punching thing at Major Fitness. I'm like, all right, let's go do it. So then we just go over there and we'd hit a punching thing machine for like 20 minutes and get the high score.
Heck, I mean, yeah. And
have fun. So we went over and watched the strongman competition for a while. Or he'd say like, I'm hungry. I'm like, okay. So we go up, in the office and have a snack. So that was my rhythm was, film, talk, post something, take a break.
Nice. All right, everybody, make sure you guys are following Rob on Instagram at Vintage Weights PGH. Make sure you go there and follow him. Also, you want to subscribe to Vintage Weights PGH here on YouTube. That's where you see all the good stuff, his long form videos. And speaking of long form videos, something that I was really, really impressed by. It's like every year things move forward a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that impressed me the most this year was how creative content creators are becoming. And in some cases, going against conventional wisdom. So Flex Marks the Spot did like this 20-something minute long video where he just said, okay, I'm just going to show you every booth that's in here. Right. And that was cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, then Michael from Jungle Gym Review said, oh, yeah, well, should watch this.
Yeah.
And he did a 3-hour long video. And
it was
and it wasn't a live stream. It's like literally just a 3-hour long video. I'm like, whoa. When I saw it and I was like, that's interesting. Because I know Tim from Gymcraft has been saying that he's getting more traction out of his longer form videos. And obviously I do a 3-hour show every Friday. So I'm like, obviously there are people who are into the longer stuff, right?
Sure.
But a 3-hour long video of home, that's ambitious, right?
Well, all I need is like 20 people to watch that thing and my my watch hours are going up.
So, but here's the thing. I looked in the comments of the video. That's how, because immediately, I'm like, okay, let's look at analytics. Let's see how this video is doing. Let's see what's going on with it, right? I look in the comment section and I see people like the legendary Bobby Hunt. If y'all don't know who Bobby Hunt is,
Bobby comments on me. I know Bobby.
There you go. The legendary Bobby Hunt.
Bobby does not pull punches. That's why I like him.
0 punches. And he said, he was like, he asked somebody else in another video, hey, are you going to put out a long video where you just show everything? And I said, oh, there's a hunger for that. So Michael is actually onto something, which I thought is really cool. So what impressed you most about like the content you've seen so far? And then are you going to put out a long video as well?
Well, last year, I thought HomeGymCon 2, the most creative video was Nice Like Mike, where he did like a very short, like same question to like 20 people. That was really creative. And I thought, oh, that's cool. He's doing something a little different. So then this year, from what I've seen, I mean, talk about other people, it's interesting having like 50 content creators. And I'm not making up that number, by the way. I'm pretty sure there were close to 50 content creators in there. I've already seen lots of different things published. So I've seen a couple different comparison videos. That's a great idea. Like Kyle at Kaizen DIY, he put out like all the leg extension machines video, and he was on a mission. He went around HomeGymCon, he tried all the leg extension machines. So like, good for him for having the foresight to do that. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. I've seen a couple comparison videos between like like Dialed Motions leg developer and another one. So that was something new this year that I thought was cool. The long form videos was new this year too. In the past, what I've done is, I just try to stay true to who I am as Vintage Weights PGH. So even though I'm reviewing modern equipment, I'm still bringing that like historical context to it. And what I mean with my interviews is that, if you just Google like, how to have a successful YouTube channel, anything, one of the basic pieces of advice is always to just find your lane, to just find the thing that makes you, who you are. So that's my lane, is to add that historical context. So that's where I thought about it. Like, how do I want to release all this footage? Do I want to put out like an epic, like whatever, hour-long, 2-hour-long thing? And then I thought, no, that's not really my style. Like, I want to roll out these companies one at a time. And, people last year were teasing me making fun of me because it was like, 2 months ago, I think I put out my last HomeGymCon video. I ration it throughout the year. So that's what my plan is, because when it comes down to it, I don't want to flash through these boom, 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 boom. I want people to learn about the history of these companies. So like the X-Master video I just dropped, we get into it. Like, who is X-Master Fitness? Where did you come from? How did you develop as a company? What were some of the challenges? And get that strength history recorded. So with each of my videos, I try to bring that in. And then to answer your question more pointedly, what I'm going to do and what I plan to do is to then have a wrap-up video that is a longer form video. And I'm not just going to mash together all the shorter videos. It's going to be like the director's cut. I'm going to have a commentary to it, and to tie together everything we've been talking to. Part of the reason I made that decision was that I was just on sensory overload when I got home. Yeah. I got home and I thought, oh, I could film this reflection where I talk about all the different parts at HomeGymCon. And I just wasn't there. I needed to digest it. My voice is still recovering from last weekend. I needed to really kind of like, take it all in and think through it. And what helps me think through it is publishing these videos one at a time. So sometime in about 2 months, it'll probably be stale by then. It'll get like 5 views, but got to be true to yourself. So at the end of the summer, in about 2 months, end of August, beginning of September, I'll put out a longer form reflection.
So let's see. We got a couple of. So JB said, I forgot to film content the entire Friday because there was so much going on. Then Saturday was even crazier, so I just decided to soak it in and enjoy watching everybody else's videos. It was overwhelming, but good. I can see that. The other thing that let's see here. So we got some start comments I want to make sure we get before I forget. So Jared says, cannot thank Rob enough for his time and efforts for the grip competition HomeGymCon. Much appreciated, Rob. Jameson says, sup, the spirit of HomeGymCon, by the way. That's forever he shall be known as. Then already did that one. Kevin from Japan says, good morning.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know if
Good
you're
morning,
familiar with
Kevin.
Kevin. Yeah, Kevin Home Gym Games. That's a good channel if you're not familiar with it. Really, what I like about Kevin's stuff is he's got Japan's compact
Yeah, yeah.
homes are compact and all that. So he's got like a really interesting perspectives on like compact equipment and everything else. And getting stuff to Japan is interesting. So what's available to him is sometimes surprising in terms of like what's available to us. But he also finds out about stuff before we do sometimes. So like he told me about the Smith machine attachment that Rep was going to have.
Yeah.
Like I think in February or March.
That's a good connection.
And well, they denied it 100%. They continue denying it. I saw them in March at HFA. I said, hey, I just want to talk to them. They're like, they didn't say we can't talk about it. They said we don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, come on, man. And so it was at HomeGymCon. But yeah, so Kevin told us about it on this show. Like it might have been February.
He's your man on the inside.
I was like, he's my mole. All right. Let's see here.
Well, real quick, just a shout out to Jared and Jameson. Right away, I was like, oh, like, yes, like they were such a big help with the grip competition. So, thank you to them for such a help. And then Jared crushed it. He was one of the top 3 in his weight division. So nice job there.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a strong dude. He looks strong and he is. There's so the Kurt said, I loved how Jungle Gym Reviews put out a 3.5 hour epic. I mean, think about it, 3.5 hours is the length of a movie, right?
Yeah.
So it literally is epic. He said, with some chapter markers, you have a winner in my book that I can slowly digest when I have time to watch it. He said he was jobbing as well. I'll say this about the long form video. Literally, I could put that on and work out with it on.
Yeah.
Right? Now, my workout isn't going to be 3 hours long, but yeah, it's just that. Or if I'm at work, I just have it on. Like I got something guaranteed in the hopper. I can just throw it on there. I work 12-hour shifts. Well, 3.5 hours of it is taken care of. Right. Oh yeah, like you said, like a road trip. If I'm not driving, boom.
Yeah.
Right. My wife says, shout out to Will from X Master. He's a really sincere guy. We both love the deadlift platform. And let's circle back to my hatred for the convention center floors. The deadlift platform, the X Master deadlift platform.
So nice.
Remember, remember how
I wanted to like eat lunch
silencer
standing on it.
Yeah, I walked over and I stood on that. I said, I'm just standing here for no reason, kind of delaying because it just felt so good on my feet. I said, this feels nice. I was like, I'll just stay here for a minute.
I felt like such an old man. I kept complaining about my feet.
I'm
like
telling you the entire time. I'm like, oh God. I loved the event. My feet were like, I love the event. My feet said, I hate you. I said, okay.
That's a huge tip for next year. Is
comfortable shoes.
Make sure you have comfortable shoes. Yeah. I wish I would have brought more than one pair of shoes so that I could wear a fresh pair the next day. So that's on my list. I keep a list on my phone of like 4 next year for grip competition.
That was gonna be my question. Like, what was like stuff you lessons learned? So let's talk about that now.
Lesson learned: more than one pair of shoes. You need a fresh pair that second day.
So like I remember when I went to the Arnold, one of the lessons learned was take a backpack.
Yeah.
And get everything you're gonna get in day one. Put it in the backpack, take it back to the hotel, put it there, and then the next 2 days or whatever, just walk around and you've already got what you want. So if people offer you stuff, just say, I'm good. Yeah. And now you're not walking around with bags in your hand because everybody's going to give you a bag of something. So that's my Arnold tip for those of you, right? And I use that at HomeGymCon as well. If I'm, it's not so much at HomeGymCon, but now the HomeGymCon tip, you need shoes specifically for HomeGymCon.
Oh, yeah.
So I had 2 pairs, but I only wear barefoot shoes.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the shoe to wear at HomeGymCon.
I gave that up last year. I wore barefoot shoes HomeGymCon 1 and 2. Not the ones. And then last year there were so many vendors there, and I walked so much that I was like, okay, I love barefoot shoes, but I don't love them for long distance walking.
So, oh yeah, Naomi's she was mad because we didn't take our Hyper Ice. We got like the Hyper Ice boots, the compression boots, whatever.
Yeah.
And normally we take them. Well, guess what? Next year they're going because. Every night, I mean, now I did have a massage gun and that's the only reason I could walk the next day. So I used the massage gun Friday. That's the only reason I could walk Saturday. Because we were hurt. I felt every one of the almost 52 years that day. I was like, gee, man, it's horrible. JB said next year HomeGymCon will be sponsored by Skechers or just comfy insoles.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Shows, where you at?
Well,
Liniment.
I think that's one thing about it. I mean, I know that was a joke, but just rolling that into this conversation, even though we're here complaining about the floors, I really like the convention center.
Yeah.
I think from a ticket holder standpoint, yeah, the floors, wear comfy shoes was the biggest like kind of gripe,
Right.
but the positives far outweighed that. I mean, it
Oh,
was
heck yeah.
a
First of all,
really nice
think
venue.
about how close it felt to the Gold
So
House.
close, so close. And I mean, there was a big
Compared to
complaint
French
too.
Lick, I felt like French Lick was like this long walk from your
Yeah,
hotel
it
room
was.
to the
French Lick was like like it was like an outtake of the Goonies
pilgrimage.
trying to get over there. You know,
Yeah, you're like, do I need that from my hotel room?
Oh, yeah, I saw a pirate ship on the way. Like it was, it was wild trying to get over there. So yeah, I mean, even though there was a misconception, and I wasn't the only one, there was a misconception that the Gold House had a walkway to the convention center.
Yeah,
and it has a walkway to the Yum Center, not the convention center. And maybe there is a further one. You can just stay up there in walkways or something, but I couldn't find it. Yeah. So I was a little thrown off, but then it's only a block away.
Yeah,
so then my biggest
street, and it was fine.
The MVP was my wagon I bought off Amazon for like $30 beforehand. Last minute, I thought like the weekend before, like, wait, just in case with the hotel, I'm going to buy this wagon that can hold like 300 pounds so I can drag all my stuff and drag my grip competition stuff, whatever. Yeah. And then that thing being a block away was like the winner. I took a bench home from ATX that I loaded up on the wagon and dragged through the streets of Louisville. Yeah, I'm sitting on it right now.
Do you have a pickup?
I do not. I have a van. I have a van.
Okay. I was like,
and the other,
okay.
From a vendor standpoint, the biggest negative I heard was just the loading, unloading situation.
Because they refused to open the thing until 6.
Exactly. And it's like, we got to get these people in here. So that's one big thing for.
And they refused to open it until 6 when we were trying to get out of there.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, but if you have a vendor that's only got maybe one small truck of stuff, you can get them out of the way so that the big trucks later on at 6 or whatever can start unloading. And I'm just like, this is crazy. Why would you not do that?
I was running back and forth 3-4 times with my wagon to the hotel rather than pull my van up to get all my stuff out of there. And as there was like a parade of vendors going in circles around the convention center waiting for their turn. I saw Luke Raymond from Arm Assassin drive by. I saw Swing Sesh drive by, just this parade of like vendors waving like, hey, Rob.
Like, we just want to go.
And Luke was like, this is my 5th lap. I'm like, good luck, man. See you back in Pennsylvania.
I blame Mike from the convention center. That's who we're blaming.
Yeah. So that's one big thing I hope the convention center can work out and realize, whoa, this is a big show. Yeah. We need more than that one bay. We need to open earlier. But then on the positive side, I heard really good things from just about every vendor as far as foot traffic, as far as like where their booth was, the setup, all that kind of stuff. There's only one or two booths that I thought were kind of awkward.
The actual, all joking aside, the convention center workers were very helpful.
Oh, they were so good.
They're like they knew what, if you ask them a question, they pretty much knew what, okay, where's the bathroom? They'll tell you like, hey, we'll give you options. This is the closest one. And they said it like that. Well, the closest one's here, or you can go to that one over there. You know what I mean? Anything you needed. They were talking about, we wanted to know, hey, where's a good place to get something to eat? And they're like, they gave me, okay, well, these are your options around here, depending on what you need, whatever. So they're very, very helpful. I also said, Kurt said your wagon was epic. He said he was jealous of your efficient pack in, pack out situation. Naomi saw you carrying the bench in the wagon. Hey, and I'm like, that's your next shirt. It's you dragging the wagon. It's like, right. It's got to be like catty corner across your chest. And Kurt wants to give a shout out. Hang on a second. Said I owe a huge shout out to Jameson, Jared, Ashley, and others that I forget off the top of my head for assisting in the packing on Wednesday. Moved 4,000 pounds of sandbags alone over hundreds of meters. So they put in some work. Tell me this. I know you already said that you bought a bench, but what was your favorite booth at HomeGymCon?
That's a tough one. That's like asking what your favorite food is. I eat a lot of food. So, can I separate it into like bigger, smaller companies?
Man, we got all right. We got 21 more minutes.
Okay, let's do this. So favorite bigger booth, bigger company, if you will, Bulletproof Fitness. They won Rookie of the Year and well deserved. They ended up being my favorite because here's the thing. ATX was close behind because ATX's equipment there's just always this little attention to detail that's different than what's already out there. So it could just look like, like the bench I'm sitting on right now has like 4 different features on it that I've never really seen on a bench, that it's just like, and just little things. So even just like their GHD has like a brake from a bicycle on it, which is just like the cool little detail. And then their booth itself, I mean, looked like a rock concert was about to happen.
Right.
They are raising the bar for sure in terms of booth design. But the reason Bulletproof Fitness edged them out is that Bulletproof did something that I didn't see hardly any other vendor do. They brought almost all of their old prototypes. They had 2 tables and a whole rack full of just how did this stuff become what it was? Which for me, that's
right in your wheelhouse.
Ooh, as soon as I saw that, I was like, wait, hey, Larry, what's this? And he's like, oh, that's like the second isolator that we made. You can see how I changed this and this and this.
How that's right in your,
Oh, so yeah, I'll have that video coming out where we walk through the development of their, because it made it so much easier to showcase. And I saw him, I kept noticing he would walk people over to those tables because it made it really easy for him to showcase all the strengths of his product, because he could show where it came from, that, hey, we saw that this didn't work, so look what we did.
Right. Like, this is why it goes back to, again, this is why we did it.
Yep.
The question you're having about this review that's based on this review you watched, well, this is why we did it this way. And
exactly.
I love that.
And so I thought that was such an interesting thing to do. I thought it was a really good idea. He also had, I called it the lounge. He wasn't the only person to set up, couches, chairs, things like that. But he stopped at Walmart on the way there and bought like couches and stuff. And he set up with a big backdrop, but he had a bunch of phone chargers. And simple thing, but really good idea. So he had this like kind of coffee table between the couches with a bunch of phone chargers. So easily, I saw people all the time that were just hanging out, charging their phone. I bumped into people there. Like, I finally met a bunch of these dudes from Home Gym Discord that I never met in person, and that's where we met. They were hanging out, sitting on the couches at the Bulletproof Lounge.
Nice, the Bulletproof Lounge. I hear it. Okay, I like that. That sounds like something from Batman.
Exactly.
So there's Keith said, Rob was so tired carrying stuff back to the hotel, he forgot he took a pic with me and Joey at your video.
Completely.
That's hilarious.
This picture with them, I look like I'm just melted.
that's hilarious. I think I want to go back up here. So I saw something that's like, you were pretty tied up with the competition, but you did get the interviews with Nick Best, Will, you mentioned from X Master. What was the biggest ROI you got from the event as a content creator? Was it seeing products you don't normally get to see? Was it getting the interviews, or was it just making connections with the brands? That could lead to something.
This is another one that's kind of developed over time with the first, the second, and now the third HomeGymCon, is that everyone tends to say, like, it's the people, but it is the truth. So, and this is kind of what I learned as a content creator, that especially now that I'm doing more modern gym reviews as well as older equipment, is that even if I didn't film as much as I could have, even if every moment wasn't spent editing and pushing out videos and all that kind of stuff, I'm thinking long game. I'm thinking I want to be in this space for the rest of my life. So I want to develop relationships. Right. And HomeGymCon is my #1 place to talk with companies and develop those relationships, to talk with other content creators, to talk with, it's part of the reason I know you, John, is that, hanging out, talking at HomeGymCon. So it's just,
give me a bottle opener that is now, it made me a legend in my family, because everywhere we go, I've got the bottle opener.
You got it.
And they're like, hey, we don't have a bottle. I said, I got you. Hang on, here you go.
There it is. So that was my swag last year. I gave out some bottle openers, Vintage Weights PGH bottle openers last year. So that's my biggest return on investment, is that I filmed, I think, a couple less videos this year than last year. And I'm okay with that, because right off the first 3 days back, I got emails from companies that I had reached out to, and I was sending my own emails. I was chatting, even just Isaac. I was messaging with Isaac yesterday from Iron Bull. So, developing those relationships, that's the biggest return on investment. So that's my best advice for other content creators, is don't be so frenzied to get content that you forget to develop those relationships, because the reality is you're all doing a great job getting content when you're not at HomeGymCon. You're all pushing out videos when you're not at HomeGymCon. So do the one thing that you can't do when you're at home in your garage gym, in your basement gym, and that's meet these people, talk with these people.
I love that. And I say, so like we went to dinner with JB from Freedom Strength, Donnie from Addicts Club, and his wife, and then Sebastian from Addicts Club as well. And it was we actually went to a pizza place that was recommended by George, who's with Addicts as well. And but he's from Louisville. So that was cool because we got to spend time learning about the history of Addicts, how like even more of the backstory of how they started the company. Got to talk to JB, and it just led to like some funny stories that like they're way too long to tell here. But it was like now Naomi and I have those memories, and if I say something to Don or to JB, he's like he remembers. Oh yeah, right. I know like other people had those experiences, like they just went out and ate dinner or with somebody or whatever.
For sure.
Like you've got that memory in your memory bank forever. You know what I mean? That you can just say like that's what made HomeGymCon really special. I mean, for me, doing my show with a live in-person audience was very, very special. That was like wow, okay. But then the other part of it, and this kind of goes back to it's the people, goes back, it's like just like you said, making those connections, being able to like go have dinner with somebody or just have like catch a moment and just talk to people and say, well, what is it that's important to you, that kind of thing.
I kept asking people, what do you content creators, ticket holders, everybody, even other companies, I was like, what are you looking to see here? What are you excited to see? What have you seen? Because I just liked hearing, what are they?
What is it? What brought you here?
Exactly.
And are you getting what you hope to get?
And I mean, think about that information that you're getting. You're hearing straight from, these enthusiastic people, knowledgeable people, what to pay attention to,
Yeah. Hey, Kurt, man, I appreciate you telling people that, like, because there were people like, so so this is like something that is like a lesson learned for us, is to figure out some sort of sign to show people like how to get to our show.
Sure.
But we didn't really know where the show was going to be until we kind of like got there.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to like give direction. So I ended up putting a video where I just like videoed myself like walking. I'm like, all right, this is how you get. And I posted the video. I'm like, all right, this is how to get there, right?
Yeah.
And then Trevor, I asked Trevor to just stand. I said, hey, just stand here by the door, let people in, and tell them where to go, right? So that kind of worked out. But I want to, before we close, I want to talk about you did the Sorenex Pop Soren biography. I think, or maybe you had just finished it last time we talked. What's the response to it now that it's out?
Well, it's not quite out yet. So
not quite out. All right. Well, let's talk about where we at with that.
So basically, I finished writing it, edited, and bounced back and forth with Bert Soren, and Sorenex, and edited. Oh my gosh, the editing. And then got to a point where it's like, okay, here we are. Now, at this point, that was the end of last fall, winter, say about that time period.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's basically in their hands, in Sorenex's hands, as far as going forward, how they want to roll it out. Right. I'm pretty sure it'll be published by them rather than seeking a publisher. And, I'd say like 90% sure of that. And as far as, the production of it, we need photographs. So I, sorted through photographs with Bert last summer. And basically they need to do layout and work on laying out all the photographs, because we want to push, even though it's a substantial sized book, I think it came out 75,000 words, something like that. After all that editing, I lost track of where we finally finished at, because we're just chopping away.
Oh yeah.
But Bert and I both felt the same. We, a lot of this is visual, and we want to push as many photographs as we can into the book. So that's where it kind of is now, is working on that, because we both agreed that, look, we could have probably rushed and gotten it out by Summer Strong this past May, but it would have felt rushed. And so much went into this. And this isn't like a timely, like you got to get it out right now type of thing. I mean, it's the story of their company, the story of their relationship. So we'd rather take our time and make sure this is the best absolute, finished product that we can. So that's where it is right now. Sorinex has it, and they're working on the photographs, and then and they have a couple people reading it. And once those people are done reading it, I'm sure it'll bounce back to me to do some final, touch-ups, some final editing. And what I can say is that it's much more than just the gym equipment development. It's much more than just the story of Pops. It's the story of Pops and Bert, and it's which then forms everything else that trickles down. And that's something I didn't know going into it, because when I went into it, Pops was, I was interviewing him, and it was before he passed. So I thought I was just interviewing this man and basically typing up what he told me. But then it shifted once he passed, and it, it's one of those silver lining kind of things, one of those like taking away something positive from something that was really negative. Obviously, it was, very sad as passing, and something that Bert's still processing for all intents and purposes. But it's the story that took shape after that, I think, is really an interesting one, seeing it shift from Pops to Bert.
Awesome. That's actually a good suggestion, Kurt. And yes, we will do that before we close. So we got a couple of things here. So Jameson said the favorite part of the live show is behind the scenes, a thick Boston accent guy and a thick Southern draw guy walking in at the same time. Now I've seen it all. Yeah. The live show was good. Like when I tell people, so anybody who hasn't watched it, like if this is your first episode of the show, right? First of all, thank you. Second thing I'll say is that the live show last week, we had an in-person audience, right? And people always say this, but this is actually true. We literally laughed and cried, okay, during the show. That was, and more than one person, right?
I was sorry to miss it.
No, it was it was like emotional, right? And so so that we got done, and I was like, and Naomi said, we didn't do Recliner or Rage. I said, yeah, and she said, well, I don't think we needed that because you guys laughed and you cried. We had people crying on the thing. Yeah. So it was amazing.
Well, next year on Neural News this past week, Jake spoke about how maybe shifting, it's a maybe, but maybe shifting to 3 days and doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If that happens, the grip competition, I will forever hold the grip competition the very first morning, because I like just getting it right out of the gate.
Get over it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, plus,
and it's a good launch point. Yep.
My athletes love having the rest of the time to just go around the convention. So since mine is like a half-day competition, it's not like Kurt's strongman that takes a couple days. So with that said, if we start Thursday, that means grip competition's over. That means Friday I'll be hanging out on the show. I'm here for you, John. Because that's the problem. I haven't been able to go to the show the past 2 years because the grip competition is going on the same day. So it's the first thing I thought when Jake said that on Neural News. I thought, oh, awesome. That means I can go to John's show on Friday morning.
Oh, man. Dude, that's first of all, the fact that you even thought that is humbling. So thank you.
Love it, man.
I can tell you that I'm down for that because first year of HomeGymCon was 3 days.
Yeah.
Right. And I liked that. Right. And I know that some of it is like, there are issues here this way, that way. Only thing I can think of that would be is that if you move it around too close to August, you're gonna have schools that are going back. Yeah. And so like down here, teachers go back. I want to say a week or so before school actually starts.
Yeah.
And so they, I don't know how much a teacher is going to want. First of all, Thursday, they won't be able to break away because just think about how many businesses, so like Porter Phys Ed.
I was just going to say, good segue. I realized I totally forgot. I named my best booth, larger company, Bulletproof. Best booth, smaller company, Porter Phys Ed.
Oh, I can see that.
Porter Phys Ed.
100%, yeah.
Because I'll have a video out where I compare last year to this year.
Yeah.
And his growth as a company from last year, where he was standing at Bells of Steel showing his cable attachment.
He didn't even have a booth. He's just kind of there. Yeah.
This year, where he has not just a booth for like a product, but several products, and check out this prototype, and look at this thing, and I have a pre-order on this Rev bar. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, great, man, you've been busy.
I just love the fact that, okay, it's a little side note.
Yeah.
But so he has like a product, he'll come up with the idea, and it goes with this thing from this company, right? Well, instead of just like saying, well, I've got the product or whatever, he'll get the thing from the company, demonstrate how they go together, and that leads to a collaboration with the company, because he's like, look, this thing makes your product better.
Yeah.
And because he's actually created the physical thing, they can't say, well, it's just an idea and we're not going to pay you, because you really don't pay people for ideas. You pay them for something that they've developed and worked the bugs on it, right? So I love that he does that. And he also does consultation with companies now, like, hey, how do we make this work? How do we make this better? That kind of thing. And I absolutely love that. So I agree with you. Equipment Exercise said a huge neon arrow balloon will help next year's crowdfunding show. They would definitely, it would make us memorable. I will say that. It was just literally, so I'll just say, in terms of how to get there, if you're inside the convention center, assuming that we go back, right? And that would be awesome if we go back to the same place. If you're inside the convention center, it's easy for me to say, all right, see that giant glass window up there? That's where we are. That's easy. The thing is that people are coming in the next day. A lot of them had never been to the convention center. And so the route up there is kind of like this, like that I just described in Recliner Rage.
You have to kind of leave.
Get you up to there, like go here, then go here, then go that way. You feel like Johnny English, like go up and then come down and rappel through from the ceiling. And so it was just difficult. But yeah, we'll figure that out to get us up there somehow. Let's go to Kurt's suggestion.
Yeah.
Can we all give a standing ovation to Jake? 100%, man. You have built a thing. You built something that I wish I had when I started my home gym journey in 2001, and I'm so glad that it exists. Those of you who you're entering your home gym journey in a reality where HomeGymCon exists, you don't know how good you have.
Oh, it's hard.
Do not bypass this opportunity.
We could sit here all day talking about HomeGymCon, and it's hard to even, really give you the full experience. You've got to go to it.
I can't explain it to you. It's like every year I'm telling somebody else, you need to go. David Dennis, I've been on him for like 3 years straight. Hey, you need to go to HomeGymCon. This year he finally went, and so he was there for my show. He's all right, yeah, man, we got to leave for whatever, so they had to leave. The next day he's back. I just see him walking by. I'm like, what? He had brought his family back because it was just like he saw it. And he's like, oh, this is a lot of fun.
It's amazing. There's nothing like it.
I was like,
there's no fluff. There's no unneeded kind of stuff. So we were joking about Skechers or whatever. Well, there's none of that. Every booth counts. Every booth at HomeGymCon matters and is applicable. So no matter where you stop, you're going to see something that is valuable for your
family environment too. You don't see weird stuff there like you do at some other trade shows.
No.
And it's like, this is.
I mean, my very quick description of the difference between the first 2 years at French Lick and this year at Louisville and the growth is just that this was the first year that if you didn't make plans to meet up with someone, you might not see them. It was a big enough event, 1,300 some people, ticket holders, and the vendors more than doubled. So it was big enough that I got home and I saw people that were there and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know he was there. I didn't even see him. Yeah. Whereas at French Lick, you 100% were going to bump into every single person there. Yeah. You're going to see everybody. You didn't have to make plans. But with that said, with that kind of growth where you might spend a whole weekend somewhere and not bump into someone, the vibe was still the same. That we're all here. We all like home gyms. We all, are kind of in this together. Even the different vendors are all kind of collaborating, and it's going to be interesting to see what products come out of.
That's another thing. You see people talking hey, we should work together or whatever. Yeah. I introduced some people especially Synergy Custom Fitness because they make a product that makes other products better. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm like, this is like such a huge thing, and
I
really
love
love what
speaking
they
with
do anyway.
Carlos and talking
Heck
with
yeah.
them. Great family, great company.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool booth.
So before we let you get out of here, man,
Yeah.
what's next on your channel? You kind of already told us that, but if there's anything like what's coming out next week or this week, whatever, in terms of like what people should be watching for next, and then how can people check out everything you got going on? You've also got the thing with micro games. So
Vintage game.
I've got that link in the description for this video. You guys make sure you go there.
Yeah, buddy.
To check that out right there. Okay. So you guys want to grab that to make sure your weights.
Do it yourself calibration weights. Weights don't weigh what they weigh. Weigh your weights and get some vintage games. Got the link
in my video description so you guys can support Rob.
Appreciate it.
So go ahead and I'll let you close out with whatever you want to plug.
Well, I mean, next up on the YouTube channel, I've got some product reviews. I've got some strength history that I'll be recording today and pushing out. Some old weightlifting methods and workout kind of advice from some of the GOATs, from some of the best in strength history. And then I also have from HomeGymCon, I like to kind of toggle back and forth with companies in terms of the size of the company and the products. So next up will be Porter Phys Ed. So we were just talking about him. I've got my interview with him coming up next. I just released X Master Fitness a couple days ago. And then over on Home Gym History podcast, we just put out the Nick Best interview. But speaking of synergy, I have an episode of Home Gym History with Synergy where you can dive deep into the history of who exactly is this company making all these really cool storage solutions for customized home gyms. And then, like as you can see, I got a lot coming out. So then the last thing I'd say is just my website, VintageWeightsPGH.com. is a good jumping off point for all these different things that I do, the podcast, the YouTube videos, and updates on the Soar Next book. So I mean, HomeGymCon, I'm still processing it, but I'll have that wrap-up video eventually because it's just extraordinary. It's really hard to put into words how much it means to me, and I'm honored to be a part of it. And I hope anyone who didn't go, I hope you start making plans now, because I would bet that within the next 2 weeks, we'll get some solid information on next year's HomeGymCon, and I'm already going to put it on the calendar.
Man, that's awesome. 100%. You gave me so many different segues. For what we're going to talk about but I promised you, I know your wife has stuff going on for you today.
Oh yeah, July 4th.
I promised you I will let you out of here on time, and so I'm going to do that. But then the show's not ending just yet, so I got stuff. I'm gonna let you guys
stick around, everyone.
Stuff that we got going on, including my video that I did for Bells of Steel. I did a booth tour with Bells of Steel, but we did something really cool because they were good enough to sponsor our trip. So we did a man on the street segment. So
love it.
We'll talk about that a little bit and all that. But I'm gonna let you go so your wife doesn't get mad at me.
Happy July 4th, everybody.
Thanks for getting up way too early, as as always. Not just today, but every other day that you're able to get up way too early and check out the show. Even if you just in the comments, every time I see you and everybody else post a comment, man, that fuels my fire. So thank you for the encouragement. I hope you have an excellent. Hey, there you go. If I'd have known that, we'd have had her on the whole time and heard from her.
This is the future camera woman in about, I don't know, 10 years. 10 years or so, she might be coming to HomeGymCon number 17 or whatever it'll be. Awesome. 13. I'm doing bad math. HomeGymCon 13.
I will introduce you to my daughter when you come. All right? All right. Take daddy and you guys go hang out and do whatever mommy says, okay? Keep daddy out of trouble. All right.
You got it. Thank you, John.
Man. Thanks, Rob.
All right. Bye-bye.
So that was our guy, Rob. I was about to say my guy, Rob, but everybody likes Rob. That's our guy, Rob, from Vintage Weights PGH. And I'm going to say, let's go ahead and just look at some of the comments, and then I'll finish up with what I was talking about before we get out of here. So Jameson said, Jake is the patriarch of HomeGymCon through and through. So he said, maybe the spirit, Jake is the heavens. Look, straight up. Jameson is the spirit of HomeGymCon. He's got an award that proves it. And you are correct, man. I think this is a great thing that Jake has done. Keith said Jake does amazing work. So happy he had this brainchild of idea and has stuck with it. JP is talking about Porter Phys Ed Fitness. He said Porter was legit. We spoke granular details like how he upgraded the leather inserts on the bottom of his Eclipse grips to a less grainy leather, which is cool. Those are tiny upgrades you don't necessarily advertise, but you feel and you notice the difference. Equipment exercise. Says so glad he had y'all supporting him 100%. Dude, I'm telling you, haven't had a home gym for as long as I have. I remember when there was nobody to talk about this stuff with. And so I'm so glad that now there's somewhere, even if it's only one, even if we're only once a year, I get to hang out with people and talk about something like this. It's phenomenal to be able to do it. Next year, I'm trying to get Carlos to go. Every year, I got to get somebody else different to go. So I'm working on Carlos right now, trying to get Carlos at home to HomeGymCon. It was awesome meeting my guy Dennis Solis in person for the first time. Got to do a tour, a little thing with him, interview with him. That's going to be coming out as well. Says good morning, crew. Good morning, Dennis. Appreciate you for all your support. My wife said so proud and amazed about how HomeGymCon has exploded between. So she went to year 1. She couldn't go to year 2. So she's been in year 1 and year 3. So she could definitely notice the dramatic difference. And she said between year 1 and 3, there was a quantum leap. I 100% agree. Rory, I saw you come in, Rory, but man, it was so hectic, man. But I'm glad I was able to talk to you. And I hope you're enjoying the grass slippers. I got Rory some grass slippers. I expect at least one Instagram video of you doing something with those grass slippers on, man. I gotta have it. I need it in my life, okay? Let's see here. JB said he's bringing a crew, taking a crew with him next year. It's gonna be epic. Heck yeah. Joey was at my show, man. Thank you so much for being at the show. It's just great to see you, Robin, John, and it was great seeing you, Joey, in person again, man. And my mom said, great show. Isaac, dang it, I did it again. Great show. Isaac is a brilliant designer. Great conversation with Rob, also well done. So, coming up in the next about 5 minutes, we've got the the tour, the booth tour with Iron Bull Strength. Okay, so you guys are gonna see that. This, if you're watching this now, if you're watching live, shout out to the replay gang. So for the replay gang, I'll put it up as the end screen for this video. If you're watching live, it's gonna automatically redirect you to that video. But what I have coming out tomorrow, and I'm spending the rest of this day of today editing videos. So what I have coming out probably tomorrow will be the Man on the Street video with Bells of Steel. I think you guys will enjoy it. Basically, Bells of Steel gave us some gift cards, and we walked around. We got people to answer questions, and if you got at least one question right, you won a $50 gift card to the Bells of Steel booth, right? And so I tried to go around. Number one, I tried to talk to people who I did not know, and I tried to talk to people who, like, nobody who had a camera, right? Because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a content creator. I wanted to give a chance to just regular people to be able to win something, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. The reactions were pretty funny. So I'm just trying to, be creative about the content. So that's going to come out tomorrow. You guys make sure you check that out, okay? Because like I said, Belza still does a lot of sneaky good stuff in the community that people don't always necessarily notice. And so I appreciate them for supporting us in that way. You guys check out the video. Then we've also got some videos from Spedients, Stepper. A lot of stuff is coming out. So over the course of the next week, and I'll probably put out a video this evening as well. But you're gonna get a lot of my content is gonna be coming out this evening, then tomorrow, and then the rest, and then they'll start coming out on Monday. I'll start putting out the rest of the HomeGymCon related videos on Monday, so you guys can check those out as well. Let's see. I want to make sure that we didn't miss anything. What am I supposed to? Oh, yeah. Next week, we're still doing the HomeGymCon reaction. It's going to take a while for us to come down off of this joy high, that we have from being at HomeGymCon. So I got Kinsey coming from Capex Home Gym Lab YouTube channel. She's going to be coming back. She's going to give her reaction to her first time ever being at HomeGymCon. We also have Mike Carlson from Anchor. So when I posted my Anchor booth tour, on the channel. A lot of people had a bunch of questions. Well, again, rather than filtering the questions through me, I said, hey, let's just get Mike on here. So Mike is coming on, and he's going to be here to answer your questions about Anchor, not just their existing product, but also the product that they have coming out. It's an upgrade, and it's going to be coming out in the fall of this year. So you guys make sure that you're here to ask him all those questions. We got a lot of cool guests coming on the show. Kodo Gi Grips is going to be coming on the show soon. A lot of people. So we are just picking up steam. You guys, please, once again, make sure you are sharing this link. If you are watching, if you made it all the way through this show and you're still not a subscriber, hey, hit the like button, hit subscribe. No, I know some of you guys are watching on your TVs, so it's a little bit different for you to hit the like button. Please click like. That's going to help out the algorithm, get more people's eyes on the video. There's like over 1,400 of you guys watching right now. That would put us over, that would put us at 60,000 subscribers if every one of you is a subscriber. Well, okay, so I'm assuming that some of you have already subscribed, but I'm saying that would get us at least to most of the way to 60,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, hit subscribe. If you have subscribed, share the video with somebody and ask them to subscribe as well. All right. So shout out to everybody who's watching on LinkedIn. If you are watching on YouTube, again, the premiere of that video is coming up. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, it's not going to be on LinkedIn. You're going to need to go to Garage Gym Life Media on YouTube so that you can watch our video with Iron Bull Strength and seeing all the cool products there. Isaac is taking me through their booth. And that's pretty much it. So that's it for today's show. Thank you to my guest, Isaac Ibocha from Iron Bull Strength, Rob from Vintage Weights PGH YouTube channel for stopping by and making this one a success. And shout out to all of you who watched and commented. Shout out to all of you lurkers, all the people who I ran into who say they watched the show, but they've never commented and all that. Hey, I get it. Thank you so much. I got some stuff I watch that I don't comment on, because it's just like, entertainment or whatever. But I want you to know that you guys are appreciated, and I'm humbled that you guys are willing to spend so much of your time with me every week. Thank you. I don't know how else to say it, but sincerely, thank you. You guys, you're why I do what I do, and why I continue to do what I do. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week. Until then, happy 4th of July, and keep stacking days.